Oh, hey guys, something messed up. We're live, but nothing rolled.
I didn't play the intro.
Nope.
Oh,
Oh,
Introducing LT Defense.
What's up? Want me to end it?
oh no, do the intro real quick.
Okay.
I'll add it. That's fine.
Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. Think of all that times no one else saw. Every sprint in the summer. Every leap in the sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering, is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time.
I'm going to say if they play just the amount of games as the NBA, with the amount of hype that they have, if they just put some primetime games on after the NBA season, they would be a profitable company.
Looking to get it into Smith. What a pass! That's game! Cordell Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness!
And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball in. Your weakest link on the team, who is a complete liability,
is gone.
In the playoffs,
Out of there.
you lost nothing.
You know, people watch 90 plus minutes of a soccer game to watch Miami Dolphins Stadium get destroyed over one goal.
See, this is going to determine my running back position. The Bills. Ooh, I'll take Cook.
But we're going to get to our final play. This is absolutely the Duncan Summer League. This was just filthy. Check this out.
And they're trying to force a contested perimeter shot and keep it out of the lane. Londa's Williams.
Till the final whistle. Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
You are looking live at Military Broadcast Radio for the final whistle. Caveman to my left, HG to my right. Boys, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was a good weekend, Jimmy.
Good.
Great weekend.
I got to watch Gladiator yesterday after the Packers beat the San Francisco 49ers. Pretty good movie. Pretty good movie.
The new one?
Yeah,
With
Gladiator
Denzel?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, with Denzel. Dude, he plays a ultra. Dude, he's like, I didn't realize he could play, because he always plays like a good guy. You know, he plays a good guy. This movie kind of sort of plays like a good guy who turns into a bad guy, who kind of has like a role where you don't quite know what side he's on yet for like the whole movie.
It's like the anti-hero kind of thing.
Very much an anti-hero. Yeah, totally. He
Okay.
is. And yeah, I'm not going to give it away. No spoilers, but really good movie. Definitely recommend it.
I should check
it was,
that
it
out.
was definitely elite. No doubt
I've been
about
seeing
it.
a lot of the ads for that one recently. I'll definitely have to check that one out though.
I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I don't want. This isn't mean. This isn't rude. This isn't a shot. Were you guys born when the first Gladiator came out?
That was what?
You
early-
were. You probably
early.
were.
That was early 2000, like
I
2001,
want to say it was
2002.
exactly 2000.
Okay. Well, I was
Yeah, 2000. So
Fre-
I
I
wasn't born. yet.
freshly
Born in
squeezed out, but
Oh man, yeah, y'all. I mean,
I wasn't even conscious yet, but I was alive.
I like it. Yeah. Dude, that was the movie when I was like a kid, like 13, 14 years old. You go to the movies with your boys. Yeah. Are you not entertained with a head getting chopped off?
That was a
Elite.
good movie.
It was elite. It was
Good
definitely elite. No doubt about it.
Yeah, 2000. I was born in 2003. So
Shout out Caveman. Shout
born
out
in
Caveman.
03.
Shout out the year 2003.
Shout out
Well,
the year 2002.
All right. Well, guys, crazy
Good week.
weekend.
NFL
in the
football
NFL.
frenzy today,
Yeah.
boys.
Oh yeah.
I
We
got
are here for
the rundown on all the scores this weekend. A lot of great games. We started on Thursday night. A whiteout game, man. I mean, that was a football game on
Love those
Thursday
games.
night.
Love those games.
Just an absolute blizzard between the Browns and Steelers. Browns, man, coming out on top. Gotta love Jameis Winston going out there, getting the boys fired up, pulling out a 24-19 victory.
He always does it, man.
Well, bad news,
Him and-
Giants fans.
Him and Baker Mayfield single-handedly are keeping the fun in the NFL
Oh yeah,
by far.
the most fun QBs in the league.
Must watch television. You don't know if they're going to win or lose, but they're going to make it entertaining.
And
gonna make it a
their
good game.
personalities, man. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Baker more so on the field, like he just
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
so fired up, but like Jameis.
Pre-game, I'll run through a wall for that guy.
Oh my god.
If he was a military general, we have conquered Russia already.
Jameis Winston, I think it should just be a requirement
just
that he
it.
has to talk to the media.
Yeah.
Because he always says the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Yeah.
He's kind of a maniac when he's talking to the media sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's just the
It's
best
great.
part of his personality.
That's great. So bad news, Giants fans. Tommy DeVito's not going to save your season, at least not against the Buccaneers.
No.
They just got absolutely dog walked in their own stadium by
One
Tampa.
of Jimmy Cover's best bets of the weekend was Tampa Bay -7.5. Easy.
That covered easily.
Easily.
30-7 the final there.
They gave me the money by the third quarter.
Huge win that the Bucks really needed to. Bryce Young, man, they took the Chiefs down to the wire. Kansas
I sent
City.
a message. I was like, "Hey boys, this thing's tied
Yep. Kansas
with
City.
30 seconds left." And I was watching other games, and I was like, "Oh, who cares about the Chiefs Panthers game?"
That's 27.
I'm like, it's
27
yeah.
next time you look.
And the Chiefs were up they were up pretty big, like it was like 20-9 or something like that.
Yep.
To start the game, and I was like,
They were
bro,
up by 11 at two separate points in the second
Oh,
half, and the
yeah.
Panthers still came back and tied it up. They were up 20-9 at one point, then they were up 27-16 at another point, and the Panthers still managed to come back and tie it.
That's crazy.
Yep. Ultimately, Kansas City does escape. It was like,
Field goal, 10 seconds left.
the Panthers, they scored with like a minute 41 left, and you're like, oh, here's the same old tied script. Mahomes is going to take the Chiefs down the field, use up all the clock. They're going to
Needed
kick a
two
field goal.
penalties for the record.
Yeah.
Needed 2 penalties.
And
beat 'em.
I don't know if you saw that huge run he had to get him down in the field goal range. 23 on the Panthers.
Oh yeah, they just
What
won't
the
tackle
what
him.
the hell are you doing?
They're so worried about getting flags now because you set the precedent in the freaking Cincinnati Bengals game. that you can't hit this guy on the sideline or when he's moving. So, I mean, you're going to see DBs like making a
Right.
business. Is, hey, I'm not making that much money. I'm going to get fined $75,000 just for touching this guy.
It's just it bothers me. He can't keep getting away with it.
Really?
Somebody just needs to take that guy out. Like,
Somebody's going to Shedeur Sanders that guy.
Yeah.
100%.
exactly.
take
He
a
needs a
shot.
slice of humble pie. He needs to realize he can't
Oh, it's
just
coming.
run around like
It's
that.
coming, Mercury. Don't worry.
All right.
Hopefully.
Man,
Oh,
low
it's
key,
coming.
kind of the game of the week. This game was insane. Cowboys, Commanders,
Dude,
absolutely nuts. Final, like,
we're gonna show
minute
some
of
of
that
those plays
game.
on top plays coming up, but
Yeah, that was some
absolutely.
insane
34 to
punt
26.
for a return, onside kick return for a touchdown, a long Hail Mary
An
with
80-yard touch.
80-yard touchdown. Then you shank the extra point to tie it. You onside kick it. Then that goes for a insane
Some-
football game.
Some pandemonium.
Peak
there, at
football
least.
right
Peak
there.
football,
That's what
brother.
you need to see.
Peak football.
And that was like the first game of the day.
Yep,
It was.
right there in the 11 o'clock window. There's always some gems in there.
There is.
Miami, man, they're back. I think just smoking the Patriots at home. I didn't know this. Tua is 7-0 now in his career against the Patriots.
Yeah.
Dominated them. Patriots got a couple of garbage time touchdowns to make the final
Yeah.
score a little closer, but 34-14. But this game was like 31-0 going into the fourth.
Yeah,
They
24
pulled-
unanswered points in the second quarter alone.
They pulled their starters. Tennessee with a big upset in Houston.
Upset of the
Let's
weekend.
go.
32-27. Will Levis starting to look like a kind of decent quarterback. I'm not gonna lie. He had some nice deep balls. Really, he did a decent job of protecting the ball outside of the pick six he threw. I don't know, man. Their Tennessee's season's pretty much over. They're like 3-8, but maybe you're finding some things to build on for next year.
Houston's lucky. That division's garbage, dude.
Yeah,
They really are.
because
That
they are
gives them a
not.
team
They are
that
not a
wins
good
the
team.
They're sort of in that sophomore slump, man. Like,
Yeah,
they got some film on you. It's always tough,
I mean, dude, they took Joe Mixon out of the equation, and that game just got way
22
closer.
yards.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And yeah, when like Tennessee is they're able to just like run the ball really well.
Yep.
You know,
Tony Pollard's best game.
Yeah. Tony Pollard's best game for sure.
exactly. Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter, a number of other guys were just
They did-
pounding
yeah.
Will Levis, and despite that,
Yeah.
still were able to put up 32. The
19 pressures and 5 sacks.
Wow.
That's, yeah. And you lose. That is crazy work.
exactly.
At home, too.
The Lions continuing their dominance, just shut the Colts
Did
down.
you guys see any of that game?
Colts are
Lions are
getting
kinda-
shafted, man.
The Lions are
Colts kind of
the
got
Lions
shafted.
are getting very, very lucky that they're playing some bad teams that just don't want to win football games. They don't have to do a whole heck of a lot in some of these. Jared Goff is not your quarterback of the future if you're watching these Detroit Lions games.
Man, I had to play him in fantasy football this week. Joe Burrow was on bye, and I was like, well, Colts defense is kind of trash. It should be all right. And then, of course, it's exclusively rushing touchdowns
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah.
When the week before he throws for 412
Yeah,
and 4
yeah.
TDs
And 4
on my bench. So I got 48 points on the bench. I got to throw him in the starting lineup, and he scores 10.
No. Yeah, I was
Thir-
going to say, I was like, did he
thir-
even score for 9 points?
38 point swing from
Yeah.
He had a lot
week
of
to
yards.
week.
He just didn't get in the end
Get
zone.
in the end
once.
zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kept getting it inside the 10, and it was like Montgomery, Gibbs.
man.
So that was kind of a boring game. Colts are just terrible.
I feel bad for Lions fans, man.
Vikings Bears, another thrilling game that went into overtime. Bears found the way to lose it in heartbreaking fashion
Yeah,
again.
they sure
Of
did.
course.
Got it. All this work, recovered an onside kick,
They were grinding.
and then Caleb Williams to an absolute strike to the middle of the field to
Wide
get them.
open.
Yeah, it was wide open, but it was
I
still
mean,
a strike.
Yeah.
You know,
Gotta hit him.
1 out of
and
9 ain't bad.
Huh?
1 out of 9 ain't bad.
anyway,
At least he got one.
ties the game up, sends it into overtime just for the Vikings to get the ball after their first drive stalls, and then they just methodically worked it down the field into like an easy chip shot field goal for
Yeah.
the win.
I was a Bears fan yesterday too, man. I needed the Bears, big time Packers fan here for new listeners out there, and You know, we're right there in the division, and we're kind of battling the Vikings right now with just one less loss than them. And I'm like, man, if the Bears can upset, we still got one more with the Vikings. We're gonna have an opportunity to sort of take control, being the 5th seed. Yeah, kind of tough, but
Jordan
Bears
Addison
will be the
freaking
Bears,
day.
man. Bears
Yeah.
will be the Bears.
Oh, Addison absolutely
162,
went off.
A
Yeah.
touchdown, and Hawkinson over 100 yards receiving too.
Glad to see he's back. They've
Oh,
been
yeah.
missing him all year.
Oh yeah,
That's, I mean, if you are in the NFC North, you definitely don't like to see that Hawkinson's returned into form too. That's just another thing you got to worry about playing the Vikings. It's good. NFC North, get your popcorn ready. It's going to be such a finish.
End of the year.
Yeah,
those
yeah.
3 teams.
There's a lot of division games coming up too.
A
Oh my
lot.
gosh,
close, boys.
it's going to be
It's
crazy.
gonna get freaking close.
Getting into the afternoon window, we had the Broncos playing the Raiders. Kind of a closer game. Vegas came out, that
First half, they were like, hey,
yeah, we
you
want
know,
to.
they had kind of control in that game for a little bit, and I was like, all right. And then the second half, I think they
Yeah.
came out of the second half like, oh yeah, we're tanking. We need
We
to
forgot.
lose.
It was kind of like the same thing that happened last game. It just
Why
it
are we
took
winning?
it took longer for the momentum to shift. Where like Vegas they were doing good. They looked like they were in control, and then we got an interception.
Yeah.
And then it all just swung back to the Broncos.
Who broke my boy Garner Minshew's collarbone?
I think it was Jonah Ellis, or it was one of the linebackers. It was either Ellis or Cody Barton, combining for a sack with, I think, Malcolm Roach.
Oh, so you just got smushed between 3
You guys
guys.
had the ball
That's
31 freaking minutes, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And like the crazy
interception from
part,
Jones, and then the
Broncos threw the ball a lot. Like we controlled the clock, primarily passing the football. We did not run it a whole lot.
Yeah, 262 passing yards.
And like Bo Nix is throwing the ball a lot on first down, and it's kind of working though.
273 total passing yards, 2 touchdowns.
Well, it's really that's a
Yeah.
good formula with Sean Payton.
Estimate
you
only
got to
getting-
play with some nuts. man,
Only getting
to be
3
Sean Payton
handoffs
quarterback.
against this defense is actually
Exactly. We
it's
got to
actually
use
kinda
estimate more. That's why.
actually kind of crazy.
Yeah.
He's going to set you up for a lot of second and third and shorts, man. If you run him on first down. I saw that you guys were
Exactly.
passing the ball a lot in first down.
Yeah.
And then running it on second and third down, or trying to get back on track play, and then throw, 'cause
That's what killed
Bo
him in the
Nix
beginning.
definitely 42 passing attempts. That's just a lot. I
There
don't
was a
know if
lot
that's
of
the
run
Broncos
plays
game plan
early
long term.
too. There's a lot of run plays early for them too, where they got caught behind the sticks. Like they would try to run it on first, and it'd get like first and second and 15 would be
Yeah.
the next play, and then they might get a penalty. Like that was what we really saw from them in the first half. But once Jones got that pick, Minshew threw it 5 yards away from his receiver to a Broncos DB. And
Yeah.
then 2 plays later, Sutton's mossing Jack Jones. I was like,
Yeah.
Broncos
Well,
are gonna win the
on
game.
Minshew's defense
That
on the
game's over.
interception, he did get hit. Like he did take a hit when he was trying to throw the football.
Oh, okay,
The
I didn't see
the
that. I
pressures
thought he just
generated a bad throw.
Yeah, I thought he just
Yeah.
threw a nasty one.
But
Yeah, when they
Yep.
went up 16-13, I was like, okay.
So
Yeah,
the Broncos won it.
gotta get it back in
Yeah.
control. The second we get a lead against like a bad team like that, I feel pretty confident that their defense isn't going to let us up.
Yeah, he's gonna let you up.
Some suspect clock management things that we'll get into when we do a deeper dive of individual matchups. But ultimately, a good 29-19 win in Vegas. The Packers just dog walked the 49ers.
Go.
Brandon Allen was like starting his first NFL game in 3 years, and boy, what a place to do it in the prime time afternoon
Yeah.
slot
Fox
on
game of the
Lambeau
week.
Field.
Great start for him.
Yeah, thank
With-
God we did that, man.
It was
we,
right.
We had to. It was raining. It was
Rainy, yeah.
a little bit. It was off and on. It wasn't as
Yeah.
bad as it normally is, or what it's going to be on Thanksgiving. I guess they're going to get dumped on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
So we're going to have a snow game up there. It's going to be a snow globe situation. 2 in a snow game. For his
yeah.
lifetime. So we'll see how that
We'll see how
works
that
out.
goes. Yeah.
But this game, the weather was pretty much okay. It was more colder, the players were saying, than the wet ball, because it was just sort of misty and it wasn't as bad as it normally is. But I'm glad we got that win, man. Like we ran the ball, we controlled the clock. You know, we got off the schneid. I think that we've won the last 3 regular season matchups against the San Francisco 49ers, but we've lost the last 3 postseason matchups to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Niners out their 4 best players really with Ayuk, Trent Williams, Bosa, and obviously Brock Purdy. And I think we kind of did what I wanted to do. Run the ball with Josh Jacobs, control the clock, you know, no errors by Jordan Love. Blitz this Brandon Allen kid, which we did, forcing 3 turnovers, including an interception by my guy Xavier McKinney. So what a lifeline that guy's been for our secondary.
Oh yeah, 7 interceptions this year.
I mean, we had 6 total last year. You know, so and this guy's got 7 by himself. Packers tied for second with the most turnovers in the NFL. Defense playing okay. We still play some soft zone coverage that you can like really attack us between the 20s, but we're pretty aggressive once you get down there. Sack wise and interception wise, we turn the ball over in the red zone seemingly more than anybody in the NFL. We had to win that game. That was a must win game, if you ask me, for the Green Bay Packers with all these players out and the playoff history, you know, that we've had with them. Must win game.
That was a big, puts a chip on the Packers' shoulders, especially when you guys stop the run that well.
Yeah.
That's what like a big struggle for you guys all year. And you held
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey to 31 yards.
Yeah.
That's freaking insane.
You know who still is the man, dude? That like gets, I think he's a little bit of a sleeper. George Kittle, dude, is the frick. Like people think, oh, he's just a blocking tight end. He kept him in it. That touchdown in the back.
Yeah.
How we were throwing layers at this guy on our defense, shipping him off the line. So we gave him no free releases. I was extremely happy with that. You give this guy a free release, he's going to catch a football.
It's game over.
We were chipping him at the line.
Yeah.
We were throwing a linebacker, and we had a safety over the top. Because I mean, they have no Ayuk. You know, is Debo really a guy that you have to be worried about? No, as
he dropped a pass that led to
he's
an
dropped
interception.
a few passes that game. And then
Yeah.
so it's like, all right, Kittle's really your number one option in this passing offense. We're throwing multiple, and he's still boxing guys out. He boxed McKinney out and then drove in the middle of the field on our rookie, getting absolutely humiliated by George Kittle for that
Yeah.
touchdown.
He's still an elite tight end.
He's an elite tight end.
So-
I just think people sleep on him as far as like passing wise as a threat in a passing game, just because, you know, San Fran has so many other weapons. He's
He's
goes
kind of
heralded
seen like
because he's
a
a blocking tight
yeah,
end.
and he's seen like a dip in production. Like his early years, he had some crazy games. I remember he had like 200 something receiving yards on the Broncos, which was like an NFL record for a tight end. But then they added all these weapons. You had McCaffrey come in. You kind of had Debo. You had Ayuk. Juwan Jennings was even emerging. It was like, he kind of just was like, he became more of like an afterthought. Like, yeah, he's a guy that can be dangerous catching it, but he does more for you blocking. But he is still just an elite receiving threat.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, he's like best player.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He's like he might be the most complete tight end
I think
in
so.
the league.
I
'Cause,
think
mean, this
so.
guy will block you into the ground, and he
Him and
loves
Mark
doing it.
Andrews, man. I mean, you'd be
Yeah.
hard pressed to find 2 guys that can block and catch like them.
Yeah.
You really would, because he's like an extra tackle out there.
Oh, exactly. It's an extra tackle that can take the top off of a defense. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Yeah. Tight ends in the NFL are coming up.
Because like Kittle's not just like that tight end that's just going to burn you in the short to intermediate range. Like he can take it down the field, and he'll blow past your defense if you don't have the right coverage called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has great speed
But
over the top.
unfortunately, a tight end can't do anything, and this team loses 28.
Yeah, and they can't
Or
stop
lose-
a nosebleed.
loses
on
by
the run.
28. Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, man, another one, dude. I could not believe when we got Jacobs and McKinney, dude, in free agency. We just don't get guys like that. Packers more draft and develop, sign their own players. Getting both those players, man. Losing Aaron Rodgers, everybody in the media crushing the Green Bay Packers. You're getting rid of you're gonna push out a Hall of Fame quarterback. Yeah, we did it once, worked out okay. Did it again, no big deal. Godsend. Thank you, Goody. Probably GM of the year if we go on a run and Malik Willis has 3 wins without Jordan Love. I'd probably say Matt LaFleur got to be in the running for coach of the year.
Definitely.
You make a run to the playoffs like that. I mean, Diamonor Lenoir talking crap pregame. Oh, they're just lucky they're not playing the real us. They don't want to see us, this, that, or whatever. And it's like, well, dude, like we were out our quarterback also. We're out Jair Alexander. We've been out Romeo Dobbs and some of our other guys. Like, We've been out players. No excuses. Remember, like everybody's talking about, everybody's battling injuries. This is NFL, dude. Like
Nobody's
dude,
ever healthy.
Nobody's ever healthy. Yeah, you have more. You just can't have 4 starters out. 3 of them probably future Hall of Fame players.
Yeah.
Trent Williams and I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, yeah. So it's gonna be tough, but we did it. You got to do it. We had to do it on the road. You have to do it on the road. This is what the NFL is.
So round out our games of the week, all here in the NFC West, we had a divisional matchup between the Seahawks and Cardinals. Real defensive game.
Dude, that
turned into a dogfight.
That division is going to be insane.
Seahawks get a 16-6 win, and then
6-5, 6-5.
Yeah, the Rams got trounced by the Eagles on Sunday Night Football.
I got some
37-20.
Barkley, dude.
That guy is. I mean, he might have found the perfect fit for him. Him and Jalen Hurts, because people were rightfully talking a lot about that Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry combination and how dangerous that would be. I would say the Jalen Hurts Saquon one's even more dangerous.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, just because I think, excuse me, I'm on the wrong dang game here. Just because I think Saquon Barkley is a little bit more in his prime than Derrick Henry is right now. He's a little bit more of a dynamic runner. Derrick Henry's just full, all bronze, straight downhill. I mean, Saquon can make men miss in open field, a reverse split leg hurdle, full speed.
Get him in the flat.
Dude, both of his.
Yeah, and you can use him in the passing game.
Yeah.
The screen game is insane with that guy.
Both of his long touchdowns he had last night, it was like he just made like one cut, bounced it to the outside, and it was just gone.
Yeah,
like in a one insanely quick cut where you're like, you blink and you miss it. He's just like, bam, down the sideline or bam into the seam, down the field, and then the speed still there, just leaving people in the dust.
I'm just glad that Hurts didn't steal any touchdowns from.
Yeah, thank God.
Saquon Barkley, 26 carries, 255 yards, 255 yards on 26 carries. Top 5 rushing game in the history of the NFL, boys. Saquon Barkley in the last 2 games has 560 yards from scrimmage. That is the most in a 2-game stretch since Walter Payton in 1977. Shout out Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're in
shout out of this segment,
you're in the same conversations as Sweetness. Yeah, you might be an elite back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And now that we wrapped up, before we go and break down these individual matchups this week, I want to
Joel
debut.
says, "Where's your shirt at, HG?"
It's right behind him on the chair.
On
Actually,
yeah, we'll get it.
I'm trying to show off I'm proud of my Broncos. Okay,
yeah,
I need to show off the merch, man. They're looking solid.
Thank you for the reminder, though.
Yeah,
appreciate you. We have to debut a new segment before we get into these individual matchups. Before we break them down, I'm going to call this segment "Caveman's Figuring Out Who's Putting in Work." And for now, I'm going to keep it short. I've got a few guys on this list, but I'm going to kind of make this segment more of my own as time goes on. But it's something I wanted to debut. So who's putting in work this week? Glaringly obvious, Saquon Barkley for the entire season has had how many touchdowns taken away from Jalen Hurts? He's already at 10 this season. And I think it was like 7 or 8 times he got tackled on the 1-yard line.
I mean, just look up how many rushing touchdowns Jalen Hurts has.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. However many touchdowns Jalen Hurts has on the ground.
I'm on it.
Half of those are probably where Saquon.
I can think of like one Hurts rushing touchdown where it wasn't like
he stole 2 from Saquon in the Packers game in Brazil.
Yeah,
at the goal line.
He stole 2 against who was it? Against the Jaguars, I believe. He stole 1 in the Commanders game. I can only think of one rushing touchdown where it was a read option where Hurts kept it from like the 8-yard line and ran it in himself. Or I'm like, okay, I guess I can't say that was him stealing it. That was Jalen making his own play. But all the rest, it's like Saquon gets him down to the 1, and then
he gets
here comes Jalen Hurts. Like, all right, time to pad my stats.
The ESPN, I'm looking at it right now. I was checking it out this morning. They have like a projected stats. They're projecting this guy within the next, I think they have 6 games left, 2,151 yards.
which would be an
15
NFL record if
touchdowns.
I'm.
For Saquon?
So ESPN's projecting him to break the record, Adrian Peterson's record of rushing yards in a season.
I thought.
I would love.
Isn't it still Eric Dickerson that has it?
I thought AD broke that.
No, because Dickerson did that in 14 games. I
Oh,
think
so, yeah.
Adrian Peterson broke the 16
The
game.
16 game record.
The 14 game. You need to rush for 2,500 yards in 14 games to break Eric Dickerson's.
Yeah. That
Because Dickerson broke O.J. Simpson's 14 game rushing record at 2,200.
No, it is still Eric Dickerson.
Yeah.
okay. And
Yeah.
that's in 14 games. That is
14
insane.
games. Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
he went for
insane.
2105.
2,105 in 14 games.
Yeah.
That is insane, by the way, guys.
So far, he's at 1,392 yards, 10 touchdowns, longest run of 72 yards, and he's only fumbled the ball once. And they're using him pretty well in the receiving game, too. It's only 27 receptions this year, 257 yards. I mean, he's not their leading receiver on that team. You got A.J. Brown. You still have Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert still playing pretty solid this late in his career. So for running back one, this guy's carrying the load. He went from a team that wanted to give money to Daniel Jones instead of him. He found his fit, and he's making it work. He's making it work. He made it work in New York too. Literally.
Guys, I think everybody sort of recognized that if Saquon Barkley was like on a legitimate team with just a decent offensive line and like just a normal everyday run of the mill quarterback,
And maybe some other weapons. So
yeah,
the defense
just an
isn't keyed on
average
him
8 and
every
18,
game.
not some dumpster fire like the Giants. I think every football fan sort of recognized that's the guy.
Mhm.
When he's healthy, you can't do anything about injuries. Everybody gets injured, like we've talked about. Like CMC's been banged up.
It happens.
It happens, man. It's a part of the game, dude. So like, yeah, he has an ankle injury, breaks his collarbone, snake bitten sort of, has like 6-7 games where it's like, that's the dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's the guy that you just get the ball to 25 times and get out of his way. And now he's finally on a team that 26 carries, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns. No big deal.
Yep.
How you doing? Keep it moving.
Exactly. He's leading the league in rush. Yeah.
He's definitely
leading the league in rushing.
I know Derrick Henry was up there. Derrick
First
Henry is
in
going to be able to break
carries.
that again today because they're going
Exactly.
back and forth. Josh Jacobs is third.
Yeah.
And like all these guys have moved teams, and they're like, oh, how are they going to do? Looks out pretty good.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs has led the league in rushing with the Oakland Raiders, and now he goes to the Green Bay Packers, still top 5. Joe Mixon, pretty good with the Cincinnati Bengals. He changes destination now with the Houston Texans, still top 5 in rushing. Aaron Jones, ex-Packer, top 5 in rushing. He is number 5 in the NFL this year.
I think Mixon might miss the top 5 because he was hurt.
They
for a
showed
little
it
bit.
yesterday. He's number 4, bro.
Oh,
it
he
was
is?
Aaron Jones 5, Mixon.
He missed like 3 games
Bro,
earlier this year.
And
That's
Aaron
crazy.
Jones has missed 4 games.
Yeah. And all those guys went to move
No
teams.
cap, dude. Yeah.
They all moved teams.
All of them have changed. So they did the little thing on during the Green Bay Packers-Niners game, new places, same faces. And they did the top 5 in rushing. Josh Jacobs is number 3. Number 2 is Saquon. Number 1 at that time was, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry will be able to do that again tonight. He's on the Monday night game.
It's crazy
But
how
still
the
crazy.
top 3 guys in that list
Dogs.
were the most controversial moves.
Yeah.
Like the Titans getting rid of Derrick Henry. Like we kind of saw it coming, but
Yeah.
that's still
Huge
one of
cap
the
hit
last
for a
things
team
you
that needed
expect.
cap space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still the last thing you expect for them to get rid
Yeah.
of their
Hall of Fame.
alpha Hall of Fame running
Literally
back.
a Hall of Fame.
The Raiders.
Day 1 in the Hall.
You got 3 QB3s on your team. Why would you not want Josh Jacobs? Let's go ahead and give him
Exactly.
away.
Oh, and their run game has been
For
atrocious.
$6.5 million cap hit, we're paying this guy.
Yeah.
Right, like you got him
The
for a
third
steal.
lowest running back in the
Got a steal.
league, dude.
And even before going into the season, there's no way you wouldn't have Josh Jacobs as a top 10 running back still.
For the Green Bay
That would-
Packers.
That would be insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
That is insane, man.
you didn't want to
honestly,
pay
though,
that guy.
Remember in the offseason when we said how our team's going to beat this like too high shell? And it was like right when the season ended.
Yeah.
And we were talking about a running game renaissance.
Yeah, dude.
This has a high potential. This season alone, you're looking at it.
Yeah, well,
This
the-
could be
The
If
best
you're in
teams,
a white box with freaking Derrick Henry, good
he's
luck.
got to get the ball. He's
Good luck.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
You're
mean?
done.
Good luck. To him.
Yeah, the most dominant teams, the teams that are just able to impose their will on other teams, we're seeing have stout running games. You look at the Lions; they can obviously they got
can run it with
Stonic and
anybody.
Knuckles. Yeah, they can
Yeah.
run it down your throat. The Ravens got Derrick Henry. Even the Steelers. I mean, their backs aren't like crazy, but they'll just pound you with them all game.
Yeah, yeah.
They
More
got a
than
really
Najee Harris.
respectable running game for sure.
Yeah. Packers and Eagles, their running games really well. The Bills, honestly, James Cook's not bad, and but Josh Allen's also a threat with his legs.
Yeah.
When they, when they drop back in coverage, like Allen can just take off and run if the looks aren't there. That's been really dangerous for him. Even the Chiefs, like Pacheco gets hurt, and they'll just hand the ball to Kareem Hunt 24 times a game, and he's not going to gash you, but he'll pop off 6, 7, 8 yard runs all the time.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad you brought up Josh Allen because that brings up my next guy who's putting in work this season. He's playing tonight. I think Josh Allen's kind of overshadowed him a little bit.
Sorry, he's on a bye week this week, caveman. Oh
Well,
wait,
that's my guy. He's playing tonight. Justin Herbert. I think Josh Allen a little bit this season is kind of overshadowing him on the play because they're both in a really similar situation where they didn't have a lot to work with, a lot of their weapons left in the offseason. You thought the team would be going into a rebuilding phase. No way, man. This guy, he's kind of in the middle of the pack right now in touchdowns and yards as far as QBs go, but he's protected the ball so well. Only one interception this season in total. And he's throwing to Quentin Johnston, freaking Joshua Palmer, and Will Dissly.
I don't forget about the boy Ladd McConkey.
And Ladd McConkey. I can't forget
The
about
most
him.
average white dude in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's pretty good still. But I mean,
He's a good zone beater.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
true. He's got the speed.
Line him up in the slot, run him through zones. Yeah, he'll gash you. But I do see what you're saying. He's against man. How well is he going to do?
If you don't give
come
him a
up and
free
press him?
release
Yeah.
too, he's so small. He's bird chested. He's so bird chested. He looks like Toad with his helmet too big for his head.
I was saying when he torched the Saints, man, he had
Yeah.
the cheese stick build.
Yeah, right.
The string cheese build.
Yeah,
man.
dude. Yeah. He looks like he kind of has that basketball player body playing wide receiver, and his face
Exactly.
mask and helmet are all weird. I don't know. I don't like that guy just because he has a weird helmet. His drip on the field. I don't know. I don't believe in him. I don't believe in him.
Back to our boy
with
Justin
Harbaugh.
Herbert.
Yeah, Justin Herbert. He's
this
the man.
guy. They've
Oh,
had
yeah.
some pretty
He's
tough
had shit
matchups
coaching
this
there.
season. Cincinnati, they took him down in that game. I mean, going head-to-head matchup, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase against Justin Herbert and freaking the till the final whistle boys as his receivers.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they go out and win.
That's true.
They go out and win that game.
That's true.
Pretty commanding win until the end of the game against the Broncos when they're up 23-3
Yeah.
for most of that game.
We did all our work in the fourth quarter, but it was too little, too late in that situation.
Yeah.
They lost a one possession game to the Chiefs. So far this season,
Some controversial calls in that Chiefs game too
Yeah.
down the stretch where it's
Yeah.
you're really a terrible. Mahomes had a terrible interception that got he forced an awful ball into double coverage, taken away via penalty.
And it's not really just his passing that I've been looking at. It's him in the rushing attack that's really kind of showing it. He's throwing it to these random guys. Well, not random. They're NFL players. They're good enough to be in the pro level, so they're still good. But watching this guy on the ground, 65 rushing yards with the one that broke out for 30 yards against the Bengals. He had a rushing touchdown and 32 yards against the Titans, 49 yards and a 38-yard run against the Saints. I mean, he's not just being a pocket passer and a game manager. He's when moments are needed for him to take the game into his hands, he can do that.
He's not just Lamar Jackson or Jaden Daniels, but Herbert. He knows when he needs to use his legs, and he's pretty athletic, and he can move for a guy that's 6'5"
He's
or 6'6".
Which I didn't even
Yeah.
know that until I pulled it up this morning. That he's 6'6", man.
Yeah.
He's got a huge frame. Being able to move like that is pretty hard to come by when you're coming out of a throwing motion to go and run out of the pocket. not an easy thing to do when you got guys that are just as fast as you coming after you with the ball. That leads me to my last and final one. I'm sure I'll find a way to like trash talk this guy because he's on Tampa. But Bucky Irving this week, dude, was killing the Giants.
Can I say, has he been the best rookie running back this season? I think so. Who's been better? I mean, Blake Corum hasn't really gotten a whole lot of use. The guy from USC, have the Packers even had him come onto the field?
Nope.
We
don't play bait.
Yeah.
If you're a rookie, you gotta be like either defense or like
Yeah.
you need 4 injuries ahead of you to happen if you're gonna play as a rookie for the Green Bay.
Trey Benson, he just gets spot work for Arizona. Same like Estime hasn't gotten a ton of carries.
But I would put him over Estime regardless.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm just, like Bucky, he's the only one that has like a really carved out and pretty crucial role to his team. They give them run the ball with them a lot and they use them in the pass game a ton. Like they're lining them up at wide receiver and throwing them screens.
Right.
Just trying to get him in space. And
They need to. They have absolutely nothing on offense.
I know. And he's electrifying in space.
They're doing whatever they can.
He's been ripping off some big runs when you get him some open field.
His longest run was actually on Sunday. He had a 56-yard run against the Giants.
Yeah, Baker was out there blocking for him.
Oh yeah, that play was sick. That's why it's just they're on a division rival team, but the Buccaneers still kind of bring a star to my eye watching them play. But he's only got 108 carries this season, 579 yards. He's a backup to Rachaad White, and he's still been seeing the field quite a bit.
Nice.
He's good in the receiving game. Only 32 receptions for 252 yards. Like I said, he's the backup guy, so his carries are limited. But when he does have the ball in his hands, like the dude's gonna make some plays for you. It was against the Broncos when I was really like, okay, this guy could be pretty solid because that was like the one bright spot. You guys beat him by more than 10 points, so you guys are kind of just kicking the snot out of the Buccaneers in that game.
They got shut down. Broncos just dominated the NFC South this year.
As you know, Sean Payton lost one of those games to the NFC South. I would have been kind of upset with them, honestly.
Yeah. No, he wasn't playing around.
If there was one to lose, it would have probably been against the Saints. But I mean, that was the one team that like 40% of the team was injured going into that game.
I mean, that was probably the easiest one of the 4. No offense, but there's just like it was a perfect storm of like Rattler was like, what was he making his like first career start, or was that his second? Yeah,
first career start
on a short week. Your entire secondary was hurt. It was like your practice squad secondary.
It was tough.
Your defensive line had just like been exposed for giving up like 200 yards the week before. So it's kind of a perfect situation for the Broncos. Like the Broncos should, just come in there and dominate.
Well, that's gonna wrap it up this week. Next Monday, Football Frenzy. I'll try to bring in some college players. I'll mix it around for you guys. But that is who's putting in work this week.
Those guys are putting in work.
Well, let's get into these individual matchups. Which game did you guys kind of want to break down first?
Well, you know what? Talking about the Broncos, we'll slide back over to them real quick.
Let's do it.
Antonio Pierce, game management situations have really been a struggle for this guy this year. I gotta imagine. I mean, if you're the Raiders, you can't be happy with how he is, approaching these, time management situations. Like end of the game, you're down 2 scores. You're gonna need 2 possessions, and they were wasting like a ton of time trying to punch the ball in the end zone when they got it to like 1st and goal. And I mean, like it's just like you're getting down under 30 seconds now, still trying to go for this touchdown. At what point you're going to have to score and go for a field goal as well? Even when you do score, you need time for that, though. At what point do you just stop wasting your valuable time, kick the field goal, and go and get an extra point? I mean, personally, I was thrilled about it. I'm like, yeah, just keep trying to punch the ball in the end zone. I mean,
go for it.
Yeah,
like why not?
Your only touchdown of the game was set up off of a huge kick return, and then a rookie linebacker just didn't get his head around and just barely missed the ball when he threw his arm up in the air. when you threw like a back shoulder fade to your running back. So, well, yeah, every time you've gotten the ball down into the red zone this game, we've stopped you. Keep trying to punch it in. Like, don't waste all that time. Don't kick a field goal. And then you end up getting no points anyways, and you lose the game by double digits. So I don't know if you're the Raiders, if you want to fire Antonio Pierce, but I don't think this guy is like a head coach caliber.
I mean, I definitely think that they're gonna, that fan base, from what I've been seeing, they want their team to make a run at obviously Deion Sanders. Draft Shedeur, bring in Deion. They're the savior of your team. You know, on paper,
Yeah.
the weaknesses on your team are still going to be there, but you have Deion Sanders, so everything's going to be fine. Wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
But-
delusional. I think they
Oh,
think
it's
there's
blind delusion.
there's too many other
97% of
issues.
the NFL is blind delusion.
Yeah.
There's really only 4 teams that are going to have a realistic chance to win the Super Bowl. There's really only 4. 2 in the NFC, 2 in the AFC. Right now, to me, it's the Bills, Chiefs, and then Lions, Eagles. Everybody else is on the outside looking in.
Yeah. And, you know,
That's really it.
There are teams that make like a Cinderella run every now and again. but
Green
yeah.
Bay Packers, blind delusion that we're making the playoffs or that we're making the Super Bowl this year. Just blind delusion just because of our history. You know, our Packers fans definitely aren't worried about the Detroit Lions. I've seen this before. You know what I mean? This is just all Reggie Bush, Megatron, Matt Stafford in his prime, throwing 50 freaking touchdown pass. Blind delusion from the Green Bay Packers fan base. Niners fan base. Oh, we're going to make a run. Blind delusion. Raiders, for sure. Blind delusion.
Yeah. I don't know if I would want to fire Antonio Pierce. He's a great motivator of the players, but it's clear he is not cut out for head coaching positions because he's just had a number of these time management situations this year. We're like, what are you doing?
How the steps leading up to how they had him become just the interim is a failure on your organization. You know what I mean? You had to hire this guy because you already had a full-blown mutiny in your locker room when you didn't hire Rich Bisaccia as an interim coach. You know, you didn't hire him as your head coach. You know what I mean? You let him walk out the door. The players, you know, basically went to the owner and was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So we got another players guy in Antonio Brown to appease the players. You know,
Exactly.
The steps leading up to that, it's not Antonio Pierce's fault. There's absolutely nothing to work with there. Outside of Max Crosby, what do they have? Nothing.
Jack Diddley.
You need everything you need every position. There's not one position that you can say we're good here.
Yeah.
I like Robert Spillane, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's
I
a
like
couple
his
guys.
I think if you
That offensive lineman that they got from Oklahoma State in the draft this last year, he's like playing a guard and center.
are you talking
Jackson
about
Powers,
Jackson Powers? Yeah, Ben Jackson
As
Powers.
for a rookie, he's had some shot. I've watched him have some shot.
Yeah.
He just gets it though, dude. Like,
Yeah.
he's a football player, dude.
He
I
did
like
get
that guy.
did
You're
get a
gonna keep
personal
him
foul
around.
in this game.
He did.
Yeah.
But like he still has some grit.
Yeah.
You can tell the signs are there. Like, oh, this guy can play
Yeah,
football.
no, he's going to be a real solid
Yeah, I think he's
offensive
gonna be a
lineman.
solid offensive lineman for you.
Like he's
That's a tough defense to play twice a year as a rookie. You got to go against
Yeah.
blitz-heavy Vance Joseph defense, dude.
True that.
He's getting
True
attacked.
that.
He's getting attacked worse than Gardner
Yeah.
Minshew was.
And
Because
that middle of the defensive line for the Broncos,
Yeah.
pretty loaded too.
And we didn't even have Zach Allen this game
Yeah.
too. We were down him and we were still able to generate a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah.
Nick Bonito, man, might be time to start having a conversation about this guy as one of the better pass rushers in the league. He is second behind Trey Hendrickson in sacks. He's got 10 on the year. He gets after the quarterback. I mean, he's had like a sack in 8 consecutive games. And he had a big moment where, you know, the Broncos, Sean Payton's time management was also terrible. We get the ball back. Oakland still got all 3 of their timeouts, and we throw 3 straight passes, 3 straight incompletions. So the Raiders don't have to use any of their timeouts. And we took about 15 seconds off the clock. And I was like, what are we doing? I know you like to throw the ball and be aggressive. Just run it. The Raiders can't move it against our defense. Just get rid of their timeouts so they don't have those. But no, say saved all of them, punt the ball back down to the Raiders, and they got, at this point we're only up 26-19, so it's a one score game. They got to get a touchdown, obviously. But who comes in to save the day? Nick Benito gets the strip sack on Desmond Ridder. We recover the ball, and we at least force the Raiders to use one of their timeouts. I know we still threw it twice. I'm like, I don't know what Sean Payton's doing. Kick the field goal, go up 10, and now it's in a much more difficult situation because of the defense. That was some poor clock management at the end of the game. We played a pretty good game offensively for most of it, but this trying to throw the ball, you have these, you get like basically 6 plays, in a 4-minute offense type situation where you're just trying to burn the clock and you throw it 4 out of the 6 times. I don't know. That was just nuts to me.
I do gotta say before we move on though, I think Sean Payton found his guy again though, Bo Nix, man.
Yeah,
he's got the competitive energy that you could just rattle off 2 guys that the Broncos have drafted in the last however many years since Manning, and they just don't have that spirit in them at all.
Exactly. Dude, he
just compete.
He's got a fire in him, man. I like
plays with some moxie. Dude.
Yeah,
I
know, dude.
He looks super mid at times where I'm like, I don't know. But then it's just like he's just like blank face and just like doesn't let the previous thing affect what the next thing's gonna be. And he has throws where I'm like, oh, that's not an NFL throw. And then like he'll make plays where I'm like, this kid's just so. I mean, but he's a rookie, and you're gonna see that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's still going to be growing pains. He's going to have to develop and learn some things and clean up his mechanics.
And the boys rally around.
Oh yeah. Well, he gets fired up and like that. That's what you want to see out of your quarterback. He's like getting up in the face of a defender in this game. He was yelling at the ref like, "That's a trash call. What are you doing?" Like stuff like that. I mean, like when your quarterback kind of takes that initiative and does that stuff, that's just good for a team. You're just going to see the guys around him play better. I mean, that there's some people don't talk about enough. Like your quarterbacks, he's got to be a leader. He's got to be very vocal, and he's got to be competitive.
Second right now in rookie of the year
Mm-hmm.
futures. You can get a rookie of the year future on Bo Nix right now at 5-1.
I don't hate that
MGM
either because Jaden Daniels kind of has a tough stretch coming up.
Everybody out there is a sports bettor.
Yeah,
watches this in the future
because Jaden Daniels is obviously one, right?
Pretty good, dude. 5-1 on for number 2. Jaden Daniels, you can still get even money on him, but 5-1, dude.
Daniels has a tough stretch coming.
He does have a tough stretch,
and he's kind of struggled against good teams as we've seen.
I think that whole team has struggled. So, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he struggled because the team has struggled.
Exactly. Well, I think people.
There's film. There's a rookie wall, and there's always games where you're like, oh, this guy's definitely a rookie.
Oh, you guys started 7-2.
Like, Nix definitely played like a rookie quarterback in this game on Sunday.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely some mistakes and everything there, but
just missing. Yeah, there was a lot of throws where I'm like, and then just next play, like, oh, okay.
There you go.
Situation, time. I don't want to go beat a dead horse, but like, I'm like, okay, like that was an awful pass. Like there was a play that did you watch? It was like the second quarter, like 14. It was like right at the beginning, your first drive of the second quarter. He had an out route. I don't know who was the wide receiver. We had an out route, just like 3-step drop, 1, 2, 3, uncorked it, sailed it over his head by 15 yards. I do think there might have been a miscommunication because he threw him like up the sideline and the wide receiver just like stopped running. So I don't know if there was a but I was like, I don't know. And then next play, just bounced back.
Yeah.
Like I like to see that,
Well, and like there would be some drives where it's like it would start, you like a negative play on first down and completion on second down. It's like, oh, you're in 3rd and 12, you're in 3rd and 14.
Yeah.
And then he would just fire a ball deep into the middle of the field, pick up the first down,
Yeah.
Or, hit like fit it into a tight window. So yeah, mechanically there's still a lot of things I think he's got to work on, and just some synergy and more chemistry with his receivers. But he's making throws when they're important on 3rd down, and he's making plays. And I think he's just confident and comfortable and in command of the offense. And so when you got a quarterback that's like that, he can play terrible for 3 quarters and then turn it on in the fourth, and we've got the defense to keep us in games if the offense is playing bad. That I'm a quarterback that I finally feel like we have confidence in to be able to get it going in the fourth quarter. Strange feeling for Broncos fans. We haven't felt like this for a
long
while.
time, especially with a rookie quarterback.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like a rookie quarterback that you drafted and sort of is showing signs of.
Even with
signs
Russell
of life
Wilson,
there.
it was like, I mean, like if the other 3 quarters didn't go nearly perfect, like if it was a bad game in like quarters in any of the first 3 quarters, it's like, oh, we've probably lost it. But now, even when we have like a really bad quarter or a bad half, because we had a pretty bad first half, I'm not gonna lie, we were not great in the first half. I never felt like we were out of it, and that's just weird.
Yeah.
That's not something I've experienced a lot as a Broncos fan the past 8 years.
Yeah, good job,
So-
man. Happy for you, dude. Happy
It's
for you.
nice. Now, so
A game real quick. There's a game I wanted to talk about. It was a division game. The Arizona Cardinals and Seattle Seahawks game, guys. Look, everybody loves Cliff Kingsbury's offense. He's one of the guys that is being talked about as a future coach, for possibly Caleb Williams. He coached him in college, possibly going to be the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. Second half of the season with this guy, going back to college, has been awful. Did you see that stat in the second half of seasons with him calling plays? He has 3 wins in the last 8 games, dude.
Dang.
And they go into Seattle with Arizona's pretty good offense.
Kingsbury's in Washington, Jimmy.
Or
He's
who's their the
You're saying Jonathan Gannon's the head coach.
no, but the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. He was Caleb Williams' coach. What's his name?
All I can think
get
of
those
is Lincoln
same guys-
Riley.
Lincoln Riley. Thank you.
Yeah, but he's still at USC.
No,
Who are you
am I
talking
thinking
about here?
because he's the OC for
Oh,
the Arizona-
Drew Petzing.
Oh, then I messed up. Then I'm thinking about a different guy.
Okay, I mean,
I apologize.
you can look at Kingsbury's offense in
Well,
Washington.
and even like
yeah, it's
bingo.
like it's starting to fall apart. It's
Showing
not-
signs of falling apart.
Right.
Going to this game though, like Arizona, you're setting yourself up for a playoff run. You're on the road, in Seattle. You got to win this game, and your offense does not show up. Their goal to go efficiency, they were 0 for 3 in the red zone. Kyler Murray had 285 yards passing, no touchdowns and interception. Bad red zone offense. You're just not scoring points when you get down there. If you get down there, I just didn't see anything from the Seattle Seahawks that showed like, oh yeah, we're going to win this game. Kyler Murray, 24 of 37, 285 and a pick.
Yeah.
Absolutely no running game.
Cardinals were 3 of 12 on third down as well.
0 running
my
game from the Arizona Cardinals also.
That's what they
49
succeeded
total
at,
yards.
too.
You have James Conner and Kyler
He
Murray.
only got the ball 7 carries, bro.
He had 8 yards. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
I don't know how many yards he had, but I know he only got the ball 7 times.
That's not going to
Awful.
work.
And you lose the game where Seattle only scores 16 freaking points. Even their offense wasn't even all that good.
They had one offensive touchdown. The other one was Kobe Bryant got a pick six pretty
yeah.
much to win the game.
Yeah.
I think that was the only touchdown.
I mean,
wasn't it?
they
Not
had
Gina threw
it was
one. That's
nothing.
right.
There was absolutely nothing. It was all touched. It was Jackson Smith and Jigba. He caught a touchdown in the second quarter. There's no scoring in the first quarter. 0-0.
Yeah.
If you bet no score in the first quarter, it was like plus 1,100.
You
And
cashed on that.
people cashed on that, which is insane to think about. And then Bryant scored on a long interception return. But then just field goals, and that game was like a snooze fest. But Arizona has
Yeah.
an opportunity to take a firm control in that division. Now that division is
Yeah.
wide freaking open.
You win that, and I mean, because if you won that, then every other team in your division would have lost, and you would have had a 2-game lead on everybody.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
it's still anybody's ball game.
It is literally anybody's ball game. I had it right here with the standings.
That's 3
were-
teams, or two of them are 5 and 6. 2
Yeah,
of them are 6 and
6 and
5,
5.
if I'm correct. Yeah.
You are correct. Yeah, Seattle and Arizona are tied at 6 and 5. LA, if they would have won yesterday against Philly, They could have put, obviously they get blown out. No big deal. How you doing? Keep it moving. They're probably going to be in a running for a wild card spot, but only one team out of that division is going to make the playoffs. You know, I don't know if they're going to be able to make a 7 seed. I think the NFC North is going to have 3 teams make the
I think so too.
Definitely.
the playoffs.
Definitely gonna have 3.
You know,
And then
the
it's-
Packers could be a 10-11 win team as a 7 seed.
And then
Is
it
that a team that you want coming into your building?
no.
No. Absolutely. You know, with the winner of maybe, you know,
I
they're
think the Packers are going to be at 5 or 6. I think the 7th seed.
there's a lot of, we talked
is-
about it earlier. There's a lot of division games left. in
Yeah,
the
yeah, that's
division,
true.
So that's going to shake.
I feel
itself
like
out.
the 7th seed is more than likely. It's either if Washington can string together enough wins and hold
That's a
on,
good point. Yeah, there's
or
9 and 5
watch out for the Bucks just because they're kind of surging.
Bucks 5 and 6.
I do think they got through one of the tougher parts of their schedule too. So some more winnable games
Yep.
for
They gotta play
them.
Carolina twice, New Orleans. Sorry, caveman. The Dallas Cowboys, very winnable game. The toughest game on their schedule. They got to do December 15th. They got to go to the Los Angeles Chargers.
So that's only the really tough one I think they
Everything
got.
else is winnable.
That's
so-
very winnable for that
so if
team.
they have 7 wins now, yeah, they're 5 and 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Say they win every game except for the Chargers game. That puts them at 10 and 7.
Yeah,
Well, then I think then probably wins the division there for Tampa. I don't know.
Atlanta.
You
Yeah,
gotta
Atlanta
see
could
Atlanta.
drop.
I think
string
Atlanta
together.
has a pretty tough stretch.
They do have a gauntlet coming
a
up,
gauntlet coming up. I got you.
and they're
right
they're
here.
honestly not
They
that
gotta
far
go-
ahead.
They got to go to Minnesota and
Bucks.
to Washington still. They do also play the Chargers next week at home in Atlanta. Then they go on the road for 2 games. And they play the, Tommy DeVito's or whatever his name is and New York Giants at home. And then they go on the road to Washington. And then they're at home against the Carolina Panthers to end the season January 5th. So we'll stay
Okay.
there. And Atlanta's already shown that they can lose to the freaking Carolina Panthers.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that's a winnable game. I don't know.
I think the
Carolina
Panthers are playing better
play
than the
a
first
little
time they
bit
played
better.
them.
I agree.
Bryce Young, he finally seems like confident and more comfortable back there. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Because he's turning around, handing the ball off to Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
He's like killing it right now.
Like, oh my God, just run the football and take some pressure off of your quarterback. Crazy
Maybe
idea.
play some play action. You look at some of these young quarterbacks, they're
Well,
only
and-
running strictly play action.
Thielen's going to be back for Carolina now, and I mean
I
he's just
hate him. I don't really.
Bryce Young likes him. I mean, like against
Bryce
bad
Young, for sure.
against bad
He played for
defenses too.
Minnesota for so long. F that guy.
Yeah, against bad defenses, though, Thielen just eats,
Oh,
and
totally, yeah.
Atlanta has a pretty bad defense.
He reminds me like a poor man's Jordy Nelson. You play off coverage on this guy, it's going to be a 5-yard out route. Watch him play football. If there's a cushion, he's only running a 5-yard out route.
Oh yeah, he's a short.
He's
passing game
not going
merchant.
to try to
Like
route
that.
you and go in the middle of the field if you're giving him that cushion. He's going to stop at the 5-yard mark and turn around. The ball will be there. Guaranteed 5 yards.
When
And
he
he's
was
slow.
younger-
he can't really run.
yeah.
When
When
I
he
ain't
was
got no
younger, he
legs,
could
Lieutenant
extend
Dan.
it a little more, but especially now, like tail end of his career, he's going. They're using him for his strengths to
Yeah.
help out Bryce Young.
He did have an insane catch on 3rd down. Like Young almost missed him because he was like wide open, and I think
What's his
Bryce
thing
got a
here
little
with-
squirrely and he overthrew him.
He's not
So
doing.
we'll-
Is he not
too
doing too bad? I wondered
Stu-
how he's
yeah,
doing.
I mean it's solid. Like he's definitely had some good moments. Like nothing that's
Nothing
gonna
too
blow you
crazy.
blow you out of the water.
He's
But
6'4", 230.
Yeah.
Doesn't even seem real.
I think Legette's
Just
gonna be really good.
340 yards on 33 catches for 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Averaging 10.3 yards a catch. Pretty good.
I think
That's
Legette's
not
gonna
bad
be
for a
really
rookie.
good if they can put together a
Yeah,
better offense.
get something around them, get a better offense. They need an offensive line.
Yeah. Oh,
they
that's
have
it.
no off. They're just running a bunch of B squad guys.
Yeah.
At offensive line there in Carolina.
Kind of a testament. Like Chuba Hubbard's had a pretty good year behind that,
He's
running
running
behind that
pretty
line.
good, dude.
Kind of a testament to him, man. Like
They started the season off just not utilizing him either.
Yeah.
I dropped him on one of my fantasy leagues because through the first like 2-3 weeks, Chuba Hubbard was so deep on their bench,
Dude.
man. He wasn't even getting touches.
Dude, he only has 167 carries, 897 yards, 7 touchdowns, and he's averaging 5.8 yards a carry. Oh, just give that guy the ball.
Exactly.
The first 3-4 weeks.
Dude,
of
Let's
the
not
season,
reinvent the wheel here, boys.
He didn't even see the field.
Bro, and he's like 5'9",
Yeah,
190
he's
too.
not.
He's like,
They got. Oh, they're lying. He's 6'1", 210 on ESPN.
There's no
right?
way.
There's no
There's-
way. He's
They're
my
lying.
height, bro.
dude, nah.
Yeah.
Like,
Third
he-
round pick, 2021. I
Wow.
mean, but it's the Panthers, man. I mean, they're a freaking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
What
they
are
weren't
we
even
talking
using him
about?
for the first 4 weeks.
but I definitely think the Falcons have had a lot of their own issues that could be a trap game. Carolina for sure.
For sure, trap game, division matchup. Say the Falcons are in a win-and-in situation for that division.
they're gonna lose.
You know what I mean?
They're gonna lose.
Carolina
against the
can play
Panthers.
spoiler. That's a. I'm not going to say they're a dangerous team because they're definitely not a dangerous team, but that's just a team that's going to fight you in a division matchup. At the end, they're just not going to lay down over
They're
the train
better.
tracks
They're better now.
to let you just walk into the playoffs. They can keep you out. They're going to try to keep you out.
Exactly. And hey, not for nothing. I mean, they took the Chiefs down to the wire.
They
Like,
did.
come on.
Yeah.
They did. They got back in that game.
That's impressive in its own because Kansas City, they're back-to-back Super
What do
Bowl
we think,
champs. That's
though,
nothing
for
to sleep
Sea-
on.
Boys, going back to that game, what do you think about the Seattle freaking Seahawks, though? This was my thing at the end of it, where, just real quick, they're sitting at 6-5. The end of their schedule, this is a gauntlet. Tough. Going on the road to the lifeless New York Jets. I'm not worried about that. But then they go to Arizona. They got to play Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago, LA, Rams. At LA, at Chicago to end
That's
the year.
tough.
Brother, that is
Yeah,
a
wow.
tough stretch. All these teams, dude, at the end of that division, this division could finish 500 and somebody make the playoffs. If you told me every single team finished 8 and 9 because they all beat each other and just that's a gauntlet. Like, you could lose to Minnesota and Chicago easily.
Definitely.
You're definitely going to lose. I mean, the Packers are going to
Oh yeah.
probably blow out the Seattle Seahawks, if I do imagine. Unless the Packers just have like one of those letdown games. That what is saving Seattle
Tucker
Seahawks
Kraft,
now
he
is-
could have a career game.
I
See
would
what Trey McBride did
There's
against Seattle.
Nothing.
They got nobody
They
to
got
cover a tight
nobody.
end that athletic.
But the game is in Seattle, and the Packers, the last 4 games in Seattle at nighttime, 0-4.
Oh, it's a night game.
It's a night game, Sunday night football, December
Ooh.
15th, boys. The last time that we played
That
in
is a
Seattle, we lost
gauntlet.
17-0. Thank you, Aaron Rodgers, for nothing.
That is a gauntlet.
It's the last time the Packers have not scored a point.
Let's can we take a look at the rest of the NFC West schedule? I just need to see who, because I mean,
I want to see who has the
Seattle could
best
drop a
chances.
lot of games right now. Like right now, I think
Yeah.
after the events of Sunday, they probably have the best chance. But hearing that schedule, like, oh man, that's tough. I think they're in control now because
They
of
are
their
in control now.
because of their 2 division wins back to back. But
Yeah. Right now, the Cardinals hold essentially the keys to their destiny. And then the Rams are, the Rams, I would probably say with them, ESPN's not opening. They finish the season. They go Saints, Bills, Niners, Jets, Cardinals, Seahawks. So they end the season on those two games at home,
Back-to-back division
but they're
games.
at home.
Ooh.
So that helps
Favorite.
them out
yeah,
big time.
their biggest
for the
challenge
Rams.
is definitely the Bills. I think that one. I'm
And those
I
Niners
might-
games, no matter what, too, are always crazy.
Yeah, I might chalk the Bills one up to a loss. I just don't think they're a better team than
They're
Buffalo.
at home against the Bills.
I mean, so it's a home game for the Bills.
That's a good point.
Bills fans are crazy.
Bills,
They'll
travel.
Oh,
They'll walk to the game.
dude, leave cold ass Buffalo, New York in the middle of December to go to Los Angeles to watch your team
okay.
play.
Exactly,
Oh, easy. Yeah, come on. Let's
Exactly.
make a week out of it.
There you go.
Oh, that's tough. I mean,
Yeah, Niners. That's always a weird game. That Jets game is at the Jets because you're going to play the Bills and then the Niners. It's insane Fran, but you're not leaving. It's still on the West Coast, so no big deal. And you've won there before, so it's like it's a different game. Like we can do this. That Jets game in New York.
could be a sneaky trap game.
That's a sneaky trap game. And then you got to go all the way across, and then you got to come all the way back, and then you got to play the division leading, possibly Arizona Cardinals. Tough game. Interesting, dude. That division, the NFC South and the NFC West to come down to the end to it.
Yeah.
The NFC this year, dude, loaded.
right now I'm thinking
Those are probably the best matchups.
I'm seeing the Seahawks sitting at like either 8-9, 7-10 coming down the stretch. I mean, they have a lot of losable games there.
They're sitting at 6-5 right now.
Yeah, but
And the end of their schedule, like we already talked about, they go to New York, to Arizona, then they play home against the Packers, home against the Vikings, at Chicago, and then in LA to finish the season.
I just think they have a lot of weaknesses on like both sides of the ball.
Yeah, how many times are you going to score 16 points? And
Yeah.
they have like one of the lowest rated offenses in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, like there
I
are some
had it
teams
up.
where I'm like, if they shouldn't be that low rated with DK, JS, and what's his face, Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That O line is so shaky, and like those are a lot of teams that like if they bring pressure, I think Geno's just gonna get folded up like a lawn chair. And then
but he's still an older guy now, like in his career. Definitely.
I get like their trenches are solid, I think, on
Seattle
defense,
right now
but
is 17th in offense.
there's a lot of teams there
the New
that
Orleans
secondary
Saints,
could just get
Atlanta
carved
Falcons and Washington Commanders are ahead of them. Obviously, Buffalo. Obviously,
All right,
Kansas City.
give me the Niners remaining schedule. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah.
Right,
So
I can see the
Niners remaining
Rams.
schedule
Rams
at
have like a good
Buffalo.
shot at like 9-8, 10-7.
At Buffalo next week, December 1st.
Okay.
That's kind of like the big game coming up. Then they play at home against Chicago, home against the Rams, and then they go on the road to Miami, home against Detroit, and then they finish the season, like we mentioned, with the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona.
Oh, so they might go 6-11, 7-10. That's brutal.
They got to get some guys back. I mean,
Yeah.
Brock Purdy's obviously, they don't have their quarterback, they're toast. It doesn't matter.
I'm like, at what point, like, because the Niners, they've lost a number of divisional games. I think their only division win is that one they got on Thursday night against the Seahawks. So they've lost to the Cardinals once. Did they play the Cardinals twice or just once?
I believe they've only played them once because they end the season.
Okay, yeah. So they lost to the Cardinals, they've lost to the Rams, they've lost to the Seahawks. So they're 1-3 in the division.
Yeah.
That's already tough. I mean, you could drop Buffalo. Especially if you're not healthy, the Bills could kill you. And then you got Detroit coming up. I mean, at what point are the Niners going to have to start thinking about next season? That's where what I'm getting to, because you're in a big hole there. You're in a pit if you're San Francisco.
Yeah, because the Rams
you have to be
tiebreaker over you. The Cardinals have a tiebreaker over you. The Niners do have a tiebreaker over Seattle. So if them and Seattle come down to it, how it's all going to shake out, who knows? Guys, there's a lot of football left.
I know.
When I look at these schedules, I'm like, man, you can't count anything right now because it's not even December yet, and there's still 5 games in December.
Yeah, they have a lot to play.
Mad
if it wasn't the Niners,
Dude, December is going to be insane, and everybody has a game after the new year.
Yep.
There's 7. Some teams still have 7 football games left. That's like essentially half your season.
That's at least
you
a
know
third.
what I mean.
Like there's still a good third of the
used
season
to be,
left.
the halfway point. Now, if you have 7, it's like, dude, that's still so. And even like when you have 8 games left, bro, you're like, all right, like halfway mark, like plenty of time, bro. 7 games, plenty of time. These teams that are sitting at like 8-3 right now, like Green Bay, some of the other ones, bro. This NFC is going to be a gauntlet in the NFL. I think there's going to be somebody's going to upset somebody good in the playoffs. It's going to happen.
Oh, definitely.
I just don't know who. I just don't know who. I want to hope it's not your team.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a team that
he's coming in
just had a tough start to the season that's going to get hot at the
Rams
right
come to
time.
Green Bay and beat us in the playoffs.
Yeah, that could be an issue.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If you're the 49ers, you have to play almost essentially
You're
perfect.
desperate. Shanahan mentioned I'm a nerd. I watch all the press conferences leading up every week for both teams, Packers and whoever we're playing, from the coaches' press conferences. He said pregame on Wednesday, he was like, "Hey, that we're playing playoff football and we know it." So,
well, if that was playoff
and
football.
Diamanor Lenore comes out like, "Oh, making up, just talking." Dude, he was throwing mad shade at the Green Bay. They know who beat them. They know this. We're their Super Bowl. All this crap. And then after the game, he's giving excuses. Niners, I'm kind of glad. Screw the Niners. They've been on a run. This is what happens, man. You've been on a run. You've had multiple opportunities to win the Super Bowl. You've had the lead in the Super Bowl
Twice. They had like a double-digit lead on the
literally
Chiefs twice and blew that.
and blew it. So this is
So-
what happens. And I saw it with the Packers and Aaron Rodgers after Jordy Nelson. You go on these runs, dude. You go to the Super Bowl 3 times, dude, in like what was it, like 6 years or whatever it was, bro. You don't care, or twice in 6 years, twice in 4, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You play all those extra games. That's like an extra season every other year
With the
just from all
intensity of the playoffs.
bingo.
Yeah, I
dude.
mean it's
And then the travel. They're not playing all these home. Every game is a home.
well, and then like the weather that you're playing in. it-
Bingo. Last game against the
Dude,
Packers was a monsoon.
I don't care what you say. I mean, playing in the cold, playing in wet conditions,
Santa
that takes
Clara,
an extra toll
wild place to play.
on your body.
Yep. And your team is aging. Trent Williams is 49 years old. I mean, Nick, or Joe. I don't know if it's Nick or Joe. I can't remember which one they have, but the Bosa brother, he's been in the league a long time now. You gotta, and you don't have anybody after him, pass rush wise. They have no pass rush.
Oh,
You know what I
absolutely
mean?
not. You saw it in this.
Absolutely
They could
no
not get
Jordan
any
Love
pressure on
was a
Jordan
stand-
Love.
The 2 sacks that they got, Jordan Love had the ball in his hand for just 7 seconds.
Right.
You're saying, throw the ball away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's trying to wait for his receivers to make a play, and that's still some of the youth that I see from Jordan Love that I want to see him clean up going into next year, because he does have an arm to give his guys a shot, but it's like, bro, you got to know
If
you've
you're-
had the ball 9 seconds. You have to
Yeah,
throw it away.
Just throw it away. Yeah. Exactly.
Or I mean,
It's like I see that watching.
he's
freaking
athletic. I mean,
Colorado
you could try to
Yeah.
try to run it. You know,
So it's the same thing.
We don't do
Yeah.
that at all, man.
that's fair.
And I think it's because he's been banged up this season. We're just trying to limit that. We're gonna go all get at some point from last year. We haven't even ran, bro. We're running bunch formation, and we're handing the ball off and playing play action. We haven't gone 5 wide yet. Where Jordan Love threw 15 touchdown passes. That's coming. There's some other dynamics that are coming within our offense. Well, right now we're running 85%. 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends. So I mean, some of the dynamic passing game that we've shown last year.
Jimmy, could you pull up the Cardinals? Let's take a look at their remaining schedule and finish out our NFC West predictions. Because man,
Yeah, this division is probably.
I don't see anybody in this division winning more than 10 games. Though I think 10's the ceiling. I think we could
10 would
see
be the ceiling.
we could see like all 4 teams like at some variation of 9 and 8, 8 and 9 though.
We are Arizona Cardinals fans this week, boys. They play in Minnesota this week. Then they play home against the Seahawks, home against the Patriots, in Carolina, and then in LA Rams. They go on the road to play the Rams, and then they finish their season, like we said, they go play the 49ers in Santa Clara to end the season.
No, I think
I'm kind of with you.
I think that's a home game. They beat the Niners in Santa Clara.
They're at home. Yep. So yeah, they finished the season at home against the Niners.
That's
I'm
more
with you, dude.
favorable
That
than
I think you're right, dude. 10 wins might win it
yeah.
in that division, bro.
Listening to all those schedules, the Cardinals have the most favorable because you got New England and
Shout
Carolina.
out Weeds podcast. Shout out Weeds.
Thanks for listening, Amber. I mean, yeah, you get Carolina and New England, which I mean, on paper should
I mean,
be
unless
winnable.
you shit down your leg against the Seahawks and Vikings and then lose to the Niners, you're toast.
Yeah.
Because you're at 5.
Yeah,
That
they're
puts you
they're
at
gonna
8
have to.
losses that you're you can't probably lose more than another game if you want to win this division.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna have to go on a run, I think.
All right. Well, what
I'd probably go LA Rams if I had to pick right
I'm
now.
going with the Rams. I think
I'm gonna
that's
go
just the
with
best,
Rams.
most complete team. Obviously, it didn't look great against the Eagles, but I think the Eagles are just like one
They're
of those.
just-
They're a dominating
They're
team.
my number 1 team in the NFC. Mercury's gonna have his, we'll see on Wednesday when he has when he debuts his next
I knew the top 10 list.
top 10 list. But I mean, for me right now, I got Eagles, Lions, and then
Yeah.
Green Bay on the outside looking in.
I'm probably going to put the Lions ahead of them, but I just want to let you know it's like razor thin, the margin between those 2 teams.
You put those 2 teams on a neutral field,
Who knows what happens?
bro.
That's a dogfight right there.
Because I think both those teams have like a distinct home field advantage.
Oh yeah.
I think Philly can go into Detroit better than I think the Lions can go into Philly. Just because grass, turf, dome. Who knows what the weather is in Philly?
Yeah.
Especially this time of year. I mean, dude,
On a neutral field.
I think that's the NFC Championship game, unless the Green Bay or somebody, like I said, an upset
Somebody
happens.
makes a run. Yeah.
Somebody just whatever.
I'm pretty
happens,
sure I
have
had that as my NFC Championship game prediction. We'll have to go back and look.
That too.
You know, Wednesday show, boys, after we get the chaos of all this week, we're about 2/3 of the way done with the season. Let's pull out our preseason predictions.
Okay.
Take
I
a
have
look at
those
where we're
all
at.
written down on my notebook.
I know.
I'll look 'em
I know for a fact I had the Steelers winning way less games, and I had the Niners having way more,
I think
and the
picked
Bengals.
Cincinnati to win that division too. I know.
I think
have a
I've-
division ticket.
I'm pretty sure I had the Bengals winning 14 games, so that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Well, I mean, their
And I picked the
offense is playing
Jets.
like
I'm
they
such
should.
a buffoon, dude. Why do you guys let me on this show? I have
I
no
picked the
idea.
Jets too.
It's brutal, dude.
I had the
think
Jets
the
going
Jets-
10-7
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah.
I still have the Bills winning the
That's a
division,
good-
but it's
that-
close.
that's good, Mercury. I'll bring in my notebook and
Yeah, we got to take a look back.
We'll check them out.
And
We should
hey,
take a
also,
break.
everyone that's listening, drop a comment. Let us know what your prediction for the NFC West is. Absolute bloodbath coming up in that division. It's going to be nuts.
a lot of
And
football.
there's
a
gonna
lot of
be-
division games.
Yeah,
Yes,
We've
there
just talked about it, man.
a lot of madness coming up.
Carnage and chaos.
The AFC West is also going to be crazy. There could potentially be 2 or 3 teams from that division making the postseason as well.
Yes, sir.
We're going to have to dive into the playoff picture on that, but we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We got a lot more football frenzy coming up. Stay tuned.
Well, I've never been to Spain, but I kinda like the music. See, the ladies are insane there, and they sure know how to use it. They don't abuse it, never gonna lose it. I can't refuse it. Well, I've never been to England, but I kinda like the Beatles. Ooh, I headed for Las Vegas, only made it out to Needles. Can you feel it? Must be near it. Feels so good. Feels so good. Well, I've never been to heaven, but I've been to Oklahoma. Oh, they tell me I was born there, but I really don't remember. In Oklahoma, not Arizona. What does it matter? What does it matter? Well, I've never been to Spain, but I kinda like the music. Say the ladies are insane there, and they sure know how to use it. They don't abuse it, never gonna lose it. I can't refuse it. They don't abuse it, never gonna lose it. I can't refuse it.
I think that worked. That was good, man. Like that. That was a great take.
Yes, that's fine.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome back to a Monday Football Frenzy.
It is a
Until
frenzy
the
indeed.
Final whistle. It is not the final whistle yet, boys. We still got 2 more quarters. Plenty of time. Top plays coming up. We just touched on some NFL breakdowns. We're going to get more to the NFL a little bit later on this Football Frenzy Monday. But college football, a lot of big upsets. Colorado
Crazy.
CU Buffs losing on the road,
Yep.
to Kansas. And we talked about it last week. The Whistle Boys talked about it last week. This is a big game for the CU Buffs. This was a big
Kansas
game.
was a threat.
They are a big-time threat. They're playing with nothing to lose. They already upset the number 1 team in the conference in the Big 12 the week before.
After they beat Iowa State, the number 2 team in the conference.
Right.
3 upsets in a row.
So, the Kansas Jayhawks, they are the first team ever to beat 3 AP top 25 ranked teams in consecutive weeks.
Yep.
3 wins in a row against top
Crazy.
25 teams.
Crazy.
Another team that kind of had an injury bug. Kansas was a favorite, odds-on favorite to win the Big 12.
Yeah.
before the
They
season
started the year like ranked 17th or something.
They were in the top 25.
Yeah. I think, the injury bug and then just the, there was a little bit of a fall off there. But that guy, Devin Neal, that running back, that dude's going to be on the NFL
What a
roster.
senior day, man.
For sure.
Oh my God,
What a
he's sick.
senior day.
What were his stats in that game? He had like 287 rushing yards.
207 rushing yards.
Oh, gotcha.
3 touchdowns on 37 carries.
He had 80 receiving yards as
80
well. So
receiving.
287 scrimmage yards. He ran the ball, 37 times, something like that?
37 carries, and 4.
Yeah, I mean, that was their entire game plan. Turn around, hand the ball off to number 4.
Yeah.
Colorado didn't have an answer for it.
Yeah.
The battle of
Yeah.
the trenches, it's CU's biggest glaring
That's-
issue since last season.
Totally.
I mean,
They cannot win.
the worst losses were, when we lost to Nebraska, we couldn't keep Shador upright. Lost to Kansas State, we couldn't stop the run, and then it happens again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
playoff
No
chances
playoffs.
are-
You're still going to be in a good bowl game. But,
yeah. Well,
that I
the
think
playoff
that's
chances
still-
took a huge hit. They're not completely like a Big Ten championship game isn't completely out of the question. But all right, I gotta just to break down
right now,
the
Sun
Big 12
Devils-
right quick.
Sun Devils and BYU would be in the conference championship.
All right, here's some Big 12 clinching scenarios for conference championship games because I just was looking at this last night. The Big 12 is absolutely insane. There's 4 teams at the top of the conference with 2 conference losses.
Yeah.
No team has clinched the berth in the championship right now. So some scenarios. There's a 4-way tie of 7 and 2 teams. Arizona State, BYU, Colorado State, Iowa State.
Yeah.
Arizona and Iowa State would advance, to the title game based on tie-breaking rules if the season ended today. The Big 12 is telling CBS Sports that there are over 250 possible combinations of 9 different teams that could be in the conference championship team. 250 possibilities. Some of those are maybe like 0.001% chance, but
Right. That's
there's a
awesome.
chance.
Yeah.
That all that.
So you're
So you're telling me there's a chance. The Big 12 is on crack. Like absolutely, all the preseason predictions were completely wrong. Like all the what everyone was predicting, even the Big 12 themselves were predicting as their top teams. You were gonna have like Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Utah, Kansas. Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State are all like the bottom 3 teams. BYU is projected to be like the worst team in the conference, or like the second worst. I think you had they had like Iowa State being the worst. Those are like the top 2 teams. Arizona State was like 13th and Colorado was 11th, and all these teams are the top 4. The Big 12 just, you know what? I'm glad that they took Texas out of it. It's like, you don't have Texas always being the favorite to win it Texas and Oklahoma basically.
Right.
And now it's like, make those guys go play in the SEC, whatever.
Iowa State does finish with Kansas State.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. But BYU finishes the season with Houston, who stinks, and Arizona State finishes the season with Arizona. So if those 2 teams win, They're in the Big 10, or excuse me, the Big 12 championship.
I
Sure.
mean,
Oh,
that's just
Arizona. That
what
was
it is.
supposed to be
That-
one of the top teams in
Oh, yeah.
the Big
Yeah.
12 as well. And it
Hey,
kept
that coach has those boys playing some freaking football. Did you see what happened after the end of that game? Those referees and the coach
Oh, yeah.
Dillingham, dude.
He was fired up.
Buddy,
Kenny
they were
Dillingham.
giving the business to those
That was-
BYU Mormons out
That
there
was
in
a
Arizona State.
crazy ending
Yeah.
to the game
Yeah.
where they
They were
thought.
chanting soaking to the players on the field, brother.
That's great.
I don't know if anybody didn't catch the end of the BYU Arizona State game. Weird end of situation management where they had the ball like inside the 5 and then they like ran it all the way back to the 50. Where like they were first and goal and then they were like fourth and goal at the 50, where they just kept running backwards trying to burn time.
Burn the clock.
And then on fourth down, they like held it and threw the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
They reviewed it and determined that there was 1 second left on the clock.
Yeah.
And so fans are storming the field, right?
Game was
it's
over.
packed. They're like, but the game wasn't technically over. BYU had a Hail Mary chance.
Which was dumb.
Yeah. If you're Arizona State, why not just score there and go up 2 scores and whatever?
Yeah,
you
it
don't
doesn't
care.
matter.
I don't know why they didn't try to do that. Skadaboo was having himself a day. Like just
Yeah.
can't turn around and hand the ball off to that guy 4 times, and if that doesn't work, kick a field goal, and then you're still up by 8.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I kind of like the odds there. Arizona versus Arizona State. That rivalry is absolutely.
That's a
insane.
rivalry game. Who knows what's going to happen?
Arizona State has always been the little brother to Arizona.
The
In
spread's
football,
29 and a half
basketball,
points.
I think that's going over.
Well,
Because
the
Arizona's not that great.
Yeah,
but they
Arizona
still got-
Arizona State is a 21-point home favorite.
I think that game is going to be much closer than what it says on there. Honestly,
It could be.
because Arizona still has
I can give
Tetero
you
and
the-
McMillan, and they got that Fifita kid is still pretty crazy. Like their
Still-
offense still kind of has a chance. to
Definitely bet
go-
the over. Over is 53 and a half points. The over under is 8-2 in their last 10. Head to head in their last 10, Arizona State 7-3.
That one, yeah. I don't think Arizona
Yeah.
State covers that spread. honestly.
Arizona State beat Arizona in Arizona last year 59-23.
Okay. Then yeah, bad taste in Arizona's mouth.
And
Going
they're
in,
at home.
a chance to play spoiler.
At home too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that.
Oh, if you could spoil your in-state rivals'
For
chances at the conference championship game, yeah,
You do it.
yeah. I mean, this
Throw the kitchen sink.
is Arizona. I don't even
hate
think
watching teams
Arizona
that have nothing to
eligible
play
for a bowl
for.
game.
No, they're 4 and 7.
Yeah, so-
It's 5 wins. I
So
don't
this
know.
is a bowl game for
This
them.
is their bowl
Yeah,
game.
this is your bowl game.
This is your bowl game.
ruin your bitter rivals' chance at the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Yeah,
Go for it.
right
State
now, dude,
has
if
been the
Arizona
little
State
bro.
wins it.
Yeah, like Arizona State's always been little bro. Arizona has a chance to just be like, calm down, little bro.
Yeah.
Pat him on the top of the head. You're all good.
Yeah.
End their season on this win. I'm kind of confident in the Wildcats on that one.
Yeah, they're
That's definitely upset
Arizona
alert.
State, big time favorite.
Watch
That
for it.
is for sure upset city right there.
I thought BYU's not looked great these past few weeks, and Houston went into Kansas State, went into Manhattan, Kansas, and beat Kansas State. So going down to Utah,
Buffaloes.
I'm not. That could also be a trap game for BYU. Just keep an eye on that.
BYU is
And-
12.5 point home favorite.
I mean, CU though, Ollie Gordon is
Yeah,
obviously going to be an NFL running back. I think even
Yeah.
though Oklahoma State's been terrible this year, I think we can all agree Ollie Gordon's probably still one of the best backs in the nation.
Yeah.
How
And
are
their
we going to
coach,
be able to stop him?
Gundy's been answering questions about retirement. So is the team going to be motivated for that game
Right.
too?
Final game for your head coach before he retires.
A lot of transfers. They already have 17 confirmed players entering the transfer portal.
Then I mean,
They were saying on the before the big noon kickoff that yesterday that there could be like 900 players in the transfer portal this year.
I think so for sure.
oh yeah,
900
there-
plus incoming freshmen. NCAA has to do something with this crap. They have to. You can't. You're just going to ruin the amount, and especially when you're lowering the amount of scholarship play, you're only going to have 105 scholarships going forward. Matt Rule talked about this. He's like, I'm getting lowered. I'm getting jacked down from 150 to 105, and we have more players entering the transfer portal than ever before. He said the preferred walk-on status. He's like, those guys that are walk-ons that you see us giving these scholarships to, that's over. because we can't. I have 20 players entering the transfer portal, and I have 5 incoming freshmen that are high schoolers. He was like, and this isn't, and he was like, dude, and this isn't just me.
Well,
You
it's
know,
it's chaos.
It's chaos
It's-
in college football. They and they're
it's a
lowering the
little
amount of
too much.
scholarships each team can have by a lot.
Where are all these players gonna go? Like
He
how-
said how Division II and where it's going to go for the FCS. He's like, you're going to see teams that are just going to get players solely from, like, they're going to build their team every year from the transfer portal, and they're not recruiting high school players.
I mean, I think that's what's
You
gonna
know.
happen.
So, I mean, yeah, it's going to be nuts though. But we're here for it till the final whistle for sure.
Let's go.
man.
Yeah,
Just
we'll
because,
we'll
like,
be
I mean,
keeping our
like,
finger on the pulse, and
I mean, if Dion
getting
leaves, he's
your
got all
thoughts
these guys like coming in that are like flipping their recruitment from high school to like they're like saying like, hey, I want to transfer in there.
We
Well,
got
they're-
that 5-star quarterback.
five.
already.
He committed
Committed.
on the Pat McAfee show.
Yep, and he
And who
he
knows if
flipped his
Dion's-
commitment from Alabama.
So Dion's even going to be there
You know,
still.
exactly. You know, I mean, it's going to be super interesting. Then does he stay at Colorado? But then that kid, I mean, he's a 5-star, you know, but like, I mean, our team's just going to make a roster spot for that kid just because you're a 5-star. And then
Exactly.
it depends on how late in the process
Yeah.
that you.
I mean, I have no idea who the quarterback behind Shador even is, or if that guy's even
Right.
any good. So,
Yeah,
I mean, we'll see. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a reason why Shador was able to just transfer and then immediately become
start.
QB1.
And there's always going to be teams, you know, at the lower level, you know, conferences like Tulsa, Tulane, you know, Coastal Carolina. There's always going to be those small schools that just get one of their 2 of these guys that are like, oh, this dude's a freak, goes to the NFL, plays right away. But at the same time, man, how this is going to affect these teams year to year within the college football playoff and the conference standings, it's going to be absolutely insane, dude. Insane. Georgia's always going to be good. Alabama's always going to be good. There's always going to be teams that are going to be in there, but at the same time, like, you know, these teams that are going to try to like be like mid-level teams like BYU or Arizona State, Nebraska, Colorado, even like some of these teams are just going to, how are they going to be affected long term with this transfer portal rule? It's going to be, it's going to be
It affects
difficult.
a lot of
it
teams in
does.
a good way, just because when you really think about it, it's like the team had a crappy season and they've been recruiting you all year as a high school player, and you're watching their team just tank, and you're watching a unit that's not together at all, hearing all the stuff going on in the locker room. They're gonna go to a better school and be third string than go there
Right.
and just lose a bunch of games.
Right.
Like, even if they don't ever play a snap of college football for the whole 4 years, they're probably going to choose to go to Georgia and, you know, give in winning program other
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
going to somewhere like Tulsa. that,
Right. And just
like,
get your head kicked in.
Yeah. Like, being a starter on Tulsa and having an awful season is a, you know, big difference from just
Yeah.
being a third string guy on Georgia that might get an opportunity.
Yeah. And then that led me to this in the SEC. Now, 3 losses, guys, is an automatic no bid for the college football playoff.
Dang.
The SEC has 5 teams that have 3 losses in it. That
Yeah.
would beat anybody in the country. You know what I mean? So, you know, and then when you talk about the transfer portal, what these teams do, and then how that's going
3 losses?
3 losses, and you're automatic. You don't have a shot at a college football playoff.
That's
So,
actually insane.
Bye-bye. Texas
0.
A&M,
Yeah.
South Carolina, Alabama.
Yeah.
Is that for every team?
Every
Ole
team.
Miss.
Wow.
3
So
losses, you're out.
That's everybody in the SEC except for Texas, Georgia, and Tennessee. Tennessee already has a tiebreaker to Georgia that they lost.
Yep.
So we got pretty much guaranteed SEC championship right now is Texas, Georgia.
And the SEC is pissed because they're like, South Carolina would blow out Penn State, but Penn State only has 1 loss. You know, Indiana looked uncompetitive against top
yeah,
tier
they just got
competition.
Yeah.
They got their doors blown off. And it's like, I
smoked.
don't want to watch Indiana play freaking, you know what I mean? Boise State. Like, who cares about, I don't know. I mean, to me, that's not an intriguing matchup. Like, I want to see an SEC school. To me, it's just, they're just better. They're better teams. Like, there's no way Indiana wouldn't have 3 losses if they played the schedule that Ole Miss played. Ole Miss, Indiana right now, Jackson Dart has 500 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Right. Now Ole Miss isn't going to be in it
Right.
because they lost to Florida.
You know, I'm okay with LSU not being in it because I hate Brian Kelly, so he deserves it.
LSU's kind of a bad
and,
thing.
and his fake Louisiana accent. You can kiss my behind with that garbage. So I'm okay with that. But at the same time, like there's like Texas A&M. You're not going to tell me Texas A&M can't go into into Happy Valley and put the freaking beat down. Is James Franklin that good of a head coach? But he's going to get made look. He's going to look good based on his record and the fact that he's going to make a college football playoff just because nobody in the SEC just beat each other. And they have 3 losses.
They almost lost to freaking Minnesota over the weekend.
They did.
Penn State. They only beat it by 1 point.
They did.
I mean, there's a lot of people disqualified then in the SEC. It's like who does that leave the door open for? I mean, you're gonna have Miami and SMU probably. So Clemson can probably sneak in there.
I think they.
You think we'll see Clemson.
Just off of sheer.
Clemson's got to play South Carolina this weekend, so
that's a rival. I love those games.
Yeah,
that's gonna be good.
Where's the game at?
Let me look. I just remember seeing that was one of the matchups. It's gonna be. Bear with me in Clemson. So
okay, in Spartanville.
Spartanville, yep.
Spartanville, South Carolina, right up there on the border of North Carolina, South Carolina.
So, I mean, 3 losses and you're automatically disqualified. So
you're automatically out.
Bama's out. Ole Miss is out. South Carolina's out.
Yeah.
Texas A&M's out. So like, who's that leave the door open for? Are we going to put like Iowa State in there if they win enough games?
Bids are going to come into play where
right. Arizona State. You want Arizona State in there? Yeah, UNLV.
Nobody wants to watch UNLV versus Penn State.
Exactly. Or like Army has a better chance of making it than 4 SEC teams.
Right.
I think they might need to change that.
We're going to see how I've been saying that. And then I'm
I think 3, especially teams that have like just gauntlet conferences like this, like 3 losses. Maybe that's as many as you can have. Once you hit 4, then you're getting like a little too many. But like if you're a good team that just has to play like a tough schedule, because like when you're the SEC, you're playing your schedule's usually the toughest. I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed to play like at least 3 top 25 teams per season
or more.
Yeah. And I think you should be able to, lose 3 games but still make the college football playoff. 3 losses seems 4 makes more sense to me. 3 is kind of insane. Like going like 9-3, I think should still qualify you.
Yahoo Sports, they are predicting only 3 teams from the SEC make the playoff.
That's wow. I mean,
what?
Yeah,
that's crazy to me. Like I'm all for more parity in the sport, but I'm like, come on, like
because right now, Arizona State, Ohio State, Georgia, Tennessee, Oregon's waiting on the winner of that. Boise State, Miami, Indiana is still in it at number 11. And they're probably going to still play they could be a rematch between Ohio State for the Big Ten championship. Notre Dame, SMU, then you got Penn State and then Texas. And that's it. I think this thing is only going to just show us that this is going to a Sweet 16 eventually.
Yeah.
This
16
is going to be a Sweet 16.
3 losses you can have 3 losses and still make it. Yeah.
Because right now 3 losses and you're not in. You're just not in.
That's
you're
ridiculous.
automatically not in.
Yeah.
You're not even at an at-large bid. You don't even get it. So unless something happens and
that even applies
rules,
to conference championship winners. So
right.
like a 3-loss team could win their conference championship and just be disqualified. Or
that's a good point. This doesn't say anything like that. Hold on.
So there's 3. Yeah, does that only disqualify you from at-large bids? Can you still win the auto bid?
That's a
by
good point.
3 losses and still get into the conference championship?
Because we're looking at it now, like the winner of the Big 12 could have 3
Oh,
losses.
easily somebody in the Big 12 could have 3 losses. Like, is that going to automatically disqualify the champion?
That is really. And it's like Kirby Smart said it very well after they beat Tennessee 2 weeks ago that we have no idea what the committee is looking for anymore.
Well, and then somebody
don't know what they want.
If that's a situation,
Mercury
nobody from the
correct.
Big 12 could even make it.
You are disqualified from an at-large bid without a conference championship appearance.
Okay.
Okay.
If you have 3 losses
If
and
you have
don't
3
go to the
losses.
so you can, so teams, so CU is technically still alive if
They're
they can
still
somehow
alive.
make it to the conference championship and
They're
win
still
it.
alive. Well, they're 6-2.
Huh?
Aren't they 6-2?
They're 8-3 in their
8-3.
total
Oh,
record
yeah,
because they had one
Yeah, they're
non-conference
6-2
loss.
in their conference. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so
And
a 3 loss. Yeah,
I
got it
think
right
the bylaw says it's just the 5 highest ranked conference
Conference
champions. It doesn't specify like what conference. So
Right.
I mean, let's say somebody from the Big 12, all these teams somehow lose their important games, and so then it's they're all 3-loss teams, and they all drop in the rankings, and then the winner obviously wins, but they're ranked lower than Boise State and say Tulane, then the Big 12 doesn't even make it because Tulane would be a higher ranked conference champion than the Big 12 winner.
Yeah.
That oh my god,
Yeah.
carnage and chaos.
Nobody knows what's happening in college football, including the college football playoff committee.
They clearly don't know.
They, I think they're just making it up as they go. Because right now on ESPN Playoff Predictor, they have 4 teams right now from the ACC possibly making the college football playoff, and nobody wants to see that.
Because I have the clinching scenario for the ACC because I know SMU has secured the berth. So
to the
Miami,
playoff,
well,
Or
to the championship, yeah.
Yep, I missed
So Miami, they go if they beat Syracuse. Clemson needs Miami to lose and then for them to win. Which Clemson, they got to worry about just getting past South Carolina first.
Miami finishes with Syracuse.
Yeah.
At Syracuse, that's a trap game, son.
Kyle McCord
That's
is
a
not
tough game to play.
no joke there for the Orange, man. That kid can ball.
They always have offense up there, dude.
Yeah.
They really
Miami's
could be a
defense is
63-70
kind of
type
bad.
of game.
Yeah, like
I
that could
bet
turn
the
into a
over.
shootout.
What's that over?
McCord threw for like almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns last week too, and their victory. He's been statting it all year.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Big Ten, Oregon's a lock for that. So it would be the Ohio State-Oregon rematch if Ohio State beats Michigan at home. And you got to imagine Ohio State, much better team than Michigan this year. They've lost to Michigan the past 3 years. Going to kind of be, exercising some demons and taking out some frustrations on Michigan. I would have to imagine.
67.5 is your total in the Miami Syracuse game. So I
Oh,
said 70
dang.
points could be scored. Vegas agrees with me, boys. 67.5 is the total in the Miami Syracuse game. That could be a 35-35 ball game. Easily. Going into like overtime or something. And then who the hell knows what happens in overtime? I'd have to look. They're only 11-point favorites. Miami is.
Only
Man,
11
their
points.
last 10, Miami's 9-1 against Syracuse. Over under is 8-2 to the over.
Oh, dang. All right.
And it's like thinking about the ACC.
52-45, dude, was their last matchup.
Hey.
That is insane. There's no defense in that game. You score 52 points and 45 points. There's not a tackle for loss in that game.
Nah. Every play gains positive yardage. Yeah. There might have been a defensive touchdown squeezed in there, but who knows?
Yeah.
Wow.
Big Ten also, dude, did you guys see the ending? We're kind of off topic. Did you guys see the ending of that Rutgers Illinois game?
That one was
Yeah,
insane.
that's in top plays.
That game was insane.
Illinois goes like line up for like a long field goal. They call a timeout to ice the kicker. All that did was just show that their kicker had no chance of making like a 52-yarder to win the game. They go for it and they score and they win it. Insanity.
Yeah, you'll see that in
College
top
football-
plays.
Yeah. Oh, it's in top plays?
It is, yep.
Okay, sweet, cool.
Also, we got that. Tell me you guys caught some of that Texas A&M Auburn game, man.
That one was insane.
That
on
was
the plains,
special.
baby. My brother was texting me all day. My brother, shout out my brother, Auburn alum. Dude, Auburn, like their stadium's haunted.
It has to
There
be.
is.
That's what Nick Saban was saying on College Game Day. He's like,
Yeah.
what? Like that place is haunted. He's like, the way we've lost there. Because you had the kick six, obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
And then they
and
were
then-
up like 3 touchdowns on Cam Newton
yeah.
a couple years before the kick six, and they choked it.
There was
on that one that bounced off that
Georgia-
player's helmet and caught him in stride and just walks in for a touchdown.
that was against
Is that-
Georgia. I think that happened to
That might have
Georgia.
been the
Yeah,
Georgia game, yeah.
but Cam Newton did lead a crazy comeback on Alabama when they went in there.
In their Iron
And then
Bowl,
Georgia was like they had like there's like a minute 37 left, and like the very first play just bounces off
the Iron Bowl weekend.
two defenders' helmets. It is the Iron Bowl.
It is the Iron Bowl weekend. Ooh, I'm gonna have to text my brother, talk some shit.
And Auburn almost choked out with this against Texas A&M. They're up 21-0 in like the first or second quarter.
Yeah, then the Aggies came storming back.
It's good to see like Texas A&M didn't just fold over because like
Yeah,
they got to play Texas this weekend.
Yeah, dude.
And like if you did
Talk
let
about
Auburn
playing
beat you
spoiler.
down.
Now what happens?
Well, I mean, Texas A&M still has an inside shot to the SEC championship.
Yeah.
So apparently, the CBS Sports, their clinching scenario, Georgia's in. So Georgia's automatically going to the SEC championship. Texas is in with a win versus A&M.
They
But
have to
A&M,
beat them.
this is a play-in game for the SEC championship. A&M's in if they beat Texas. So no other team has a chance to make the conference championship outside of Texas
That's
and Texas
crazy,
A&M.
dude. Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. Mad carnage and chaos. We
Dude,
we
we're
talk
here
about
for
it every
I
week.
sent it in the in the group message. I want to bring up that picture that I had in there because it had like all the craziness. Yeah. So Mississippi gets upset. Ole Miss could have been one of the at-large bids in the SEC.
Yeah.
Nope.
Two
They
picks
lose.
in the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, they're toast. Florida beat them 24-17. Colorado, we mentioned it. KU just slobber not 37-21. Tough
Yeah.
game. And then overtime, Texas A&M loses to Auburn in Auburn, and Alabama gets upset. Dude,
That
Jalen
was a-
Milroe played an awful football game.
Yeah.
Getting
Oklahoma
butt
kind of
kicked,
showing
put
signs of
them
life
to
in the last
woodshed,
stretch.
dude. Ran all over Alabama.
That-
You know, and Alabama loses 24-3 on the road against Oklahoma, who's been awful this year. You know, and
Penn State barely
barely
escaped
escaped.
Minnesota. Barely.
you know, we've mentioned Ohio State kicking the crap out of Indiana, so that's pretty much going to
Yeah.
put
And
fun
then
ride for Indiana.
BYU.
Oh, can I get a moment of silence for Indiana, real quick,
Oh,
boys?
they
Yeah, a moment
need
of
it.
silence.
They need it. Yep.
Thanks, boys. Yeah.
You will.
And your
you will
run
be
is
missed.
over, and that's what happens when you play 7 of the bottom teams in your conference and beat them all, and then you finally play a good team. You get taken to the woodshed by superior athletes.
Wasn't
A
even
couple
close.
top plays from that game too. Downs had that kick return for a touchdown. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But Indiana drove down on their first drive, and I was like, okay, like all right, mate. That was it.
Yeah. I thought
Hope you
there'd be
enjoyed it.
something.
You got one drive, and that was it.
There's even Will Howard was celebrating against.
Yeah.
them. And like
Yeah.
that's like,
Doing the
glaring
Google me
weakness.
thing, you know what I mean? And they put up
Yep.
on the scoreboard the Google search, you know, you suck. You know, and I was like, okay,
All
like,
right.
that's kind of cool. I'm kind of for that trolling right there. I like that. That was funny.
I'm gonna try to give a very quick playoff prediction. Just got this is so much of this is going to change and probably be wrong. But if we're gonna one week or before we get to the final week of the season, Oregon wins the Big Ten. They're the 1 seed.
Yep.
Georgia wins the SEC. They're the 2 seed. I guess I'm going to say Miami wins the ACC. They're the 3 seed. I like Boise State to be the 4 seed because they would be the higher ranked conference championship winner. They're the 5 seed. Or they're the 4 seed, right?
Yeah.
And
It
then
could be. We'll see. But again, this comes down to the freaking committee who has no. I
Yeah.
mean, like they're just picking teams out of a hat.
so we'll see.
I
We're
think
gonna
that's a
we're
good
gonna
record.
we're gonna tentatively put
Or-
Boise at the 4 seed. I'm gonna Arizona State seems like the hottest team in the Big 12. I'm gonna just pick them to be the Big 12 champion. So Arizona State's the 5 seed. Then going off the 6 seed, I think that's gonna be Texas. We'll say Texas is the 6 seed. Tennessee is going to be 8. Probably put
Yeah.
put SMU I'm going to go Indiana's going to be 9.
I don't think they'll make it, brother.
You don't think Indiana's going to make it? They're not going to get the at-large?
I don't think they're going to get an at-large bid.
Wow.
I just don't.
I mean,
not with their strength. Dude, when they're valuing
Definitely
strength
not.
of schedule
That's
over
fair.
like literally conference wins.
All right. Let's throw
You
Indiana
gotta
out of
throw
there.
Indiana out of there. They're
We'll
out.
put SMU at 9.
Right
Oh,
now.
wait. You know who I'm forgetting? Notre Dame. I'm so sorry, Jimmy. We're going to put Notre Dame. Let's see. I said
Right now,
Tennessee.
Notre Dame is 5 in the college football playoff.
Be fine.
So,
But they don't.
and they finished with freaking.
Do they put automatic, or is it the top 4 ranked conference championships? They get
we
the
have-
first round
we,
bye.
We have one loss. We're automatic. We're automatic top 6.
This is going to be. We got to see how it plays out. Maybe I can't give a prediction. This is too chaotic.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's going to be in it. We'll throw Indiana out, but I like SMU to be in there.
Yeah.
I think. Well, no, I think Clemson's going to lose to South Carolina actually, so Clemson's not going to be in there. That's going to leave room for
Coastal Carolina, maybe. I mean, who knows? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Tulane's going to
you
sneak
know.
in there somehow,
Like, what are we
and so
talking
is
about?
UNLV. Like, let's be real. And oh man, I mean,
Yeah.
who even knows? God,
Yeah.
if you can give us a prediction on who you like,
I have no idea.
it's impossible to say. Who knows? And like the committee, they always make some odd decisions, and you're like, well, what are we?
Right
What's
now,
the thought process here? And
So
like,
essentially, right now, it's Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Texas, Georgia, Notre Dame, Miami, Tennessee, Boise State, SMU.
Yeah, I get what you're saying about the 3 losses thing.
So,
like, I'm sorry, there's no way Southern Methodist University goes into any SEC team.
Right.
right? I mean,
They're not
we're putting SMU in over Texas A&M and Ole Miss,
and SMU has
over Bama.
and SMU got to dodge Clemson and Miami this year
Yeah, they-
in their own conference and Pitt.
Oh.
So
Who-
they didn't
who
even
is-
play 3 of the top teams in their own conference other than them.
They beat. I mean, let's look at SMU's schedule because, like, yeah,
Well, they did beat Pitt. That's the only one.
they did.
That's
Okay,
the only one that they beat.
got.
They crushed Pitt. They did get Duke while Duke was hot, and I think they kind of curb stomped Duke and stopped their winning ways. Yeah, their only loss was to BYU.
They
It
beat-
looks like
Oh, dude, Houston Christian, big win, 59-7. They beat
Wow.
Nevada. BYU was their only loss.
then they beat TCU. They put up
Florida State,
Florida State.
Louisville was ranked when they beat them.
Stanford,
Duke,
SMU.
yeah, they
or,
beat
I mean,
Pitt,
Pitt,
Boston,
Boston
College,
College.
and Virginia.
Yeah,
Now they got
They
Cal.
lost to BYU. They're not beating a team.
Yeah,
from
they're not
the
beating the
SEC.
team from the SEC.
Like,
You know,
Like if BYU's in, like, is BYU gonna beat an Old Miss? But they beat Texas A&M.
it's gonna look like BYU won 2 games.
right,
That's how bad the game is gonna be.
right.
They're gonna be
Yeah.
like, how is this team
Yeah.
even in the playoffs?
Oh, they're gonna get, dude. Tennessee plays BYU in the first round.
That's
I
like
got news for you, sunshine.
that's gonna be like
That's a
80
whole
that's
different
like
ball
80
game,
to
bud.
6. The final score 80 to 6 right there. BYU against Tennessee in Rocky Top. Yeah, that's like 87 to 6.
I think it would be an SMU if they're in the championship. If they win the Big 12 champ, I mean, they're going to be.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like it'll be in it'll be in
I-
SMU and
I
Dallas.
feel like SMU's gonna.
And Jerry.
They're gonna have to play Miami, and Miami's gonna expose them.
True that. Yeah.
I think.
And
Everyone's
then
gonna-
I don't even think SMU would get in if they lose the conference.
that's true. Yeah, I mean, if they don't win,
Hell
like,
yeah.
I think you have to win the ACC to make it, and then I think
Yeah.
Clemson might get the other round.
well, yeah, Clemson's probably the only.
Probably.
But even then, they could have 3 losses because
And
they.
then they're out because
they
they
got
could lose
South
that
Carolina.
South Carolina. It's nuts, dude. You can't even
But
do
like
it.
2 of Clemson's losses would have been to Georgia and South Carolina.
Just put in Army and Navy, and let's just have some fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do that.
You know what I mean?
Screw
it.
Throw in a triple option team just to like screw everybody up. You know what I mean?
yeah. Why not?
I'd like to see Army in there.
Yeah.
Come on now. That'd be pretty cool.
It's for
If
fun.
you can, I'll say this though, Mercury, if you can correctly predict the college football bracket challenge, where you can predict all the 12 teams that are going to be in it and all the teams to win it, and you run the table, win $1 million on ESPN. If you want to sign up, it's free.
Oh, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, they're going to give you $1 million if you can do an 450
You have like a
billion to one shot.
0.005% chance to like get that right. Like that's why they're offering up $1 million.
Sign up's free though on ESPN.com for anybody that.
That ain't gonna happen. Oh my goodness. Carnage and chaos.
We're here for it, dude. It's alive and well in college football. NFL, we're just getting going. The carnage hasn't even started in the NFL yet.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even Thanksgiving games yet.
Oh,
After
yeah.
Thanksgiving and Christmas, that's when NFL just turns.
That's when the real
It's a
carnage
completely
hits.
different fucking football game. Sorry, Stokely. I'm sorry. I'm getting excited, but it really is.
I'm fired up about
It
it. though.
really is just a different.
Oh, the brand of football,
You
it
see these teams
switches.
just like and turn it up just a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's going to change a lot.
You know, and the cream always rises to the top, as they say in the NFL. And we're seeing it in college football. And who the heck, boys, at one point I saw also over this weekend when college football playoff is going on with the NFL, when the Final Four is going on with the national championship, we're going to have 7 consecutive days of playoff football from college to the NFL.
Oh yeah, the wild card
7
starts right then, huh?
consecutive days.
Blessed.
of
We're gonna be blessed.
Playoff football, dude. And
Oh,
the final
yeah.
whistle boys are going to be there to cover
Be
it
there for it all.
entire time.
I cannot wait.
Mondays are going to be insane. With the game that day, that's going to be a playoff game.
I know.
Possible national championship and like championship, like wild card go to the division matchup while national championship game is played. Bro, Mondays are going to
Dude.
be insane coming up. Next couple weeks, boys.
Get
Buckle up.
ready.
Hey, buckle up.
That's gonna be crazy, Shannon.
It's going to be awesome, dude. I can't wait.
Strap in, boys.
Yeah,
Strap
dude,
in.
It's going to be nuts.
Tune in with us. We're gonna break it down for y'all. All right. Well, final week of the college football season is coming up here. What are some matchups to keep an eye on? Obviously, we've got Clemson and South Carolina. Huge game for Clemson.
Play to win the game.
South Carolina is really just kind of there to play spoiler.
Yeah.
Crazy to
Washington,
say.
Oregon, kind of a rivalry game. Oregon looking a little human against Wisconsin a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So definitely something I would keep an eye on there. Texas A&M. That's
probably the best
hands
game.
down. That's the biggest one. That's the get into the SEC championship. Winner of that game goes to the SEC championship. It's in A&M Stadium. It's at College Station.
Yeah, College Station, yep.
So, I mean, A&M, this is their only shot at the playoff is
gotta-
is
yeah,
to
they
get
gotta
win,
win
this championship. So they got to beat Texas and then Georgia, which, all right. Yeah. Thanks a lot, college
Yeah,
football.
no kidding.
That's
Yeah.
how we got to get
Hey,
to the
we're here
playoff.
for it. Those are gonna be 2 crazy games in a
Yeah.
row where it's like football. You know what I mean?
So
I always
for that reason, I feel like Texas might lose this game because they still know they have that at-large bid. Even if they lose this game, I think you
you're
have to
playing
put
in an
Texas in there.
SEC championship, and that's a less bang on your body.
Yeah, I'd want the bye week.
Give me the bye week, dude. They're gonna be in it regardless. They're in the playoff regardless.
Yeah.
So, like you said, as an at-large. So, I mean,
and like if you think about it, you win this and then you got to go to the
You wanna
SEC
play Georgia
championship
twice?
Right.
I wouldn't
You got to play. So you lose this game, right?
give Tennessee. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're
Let
still
Tennessee go play
getting the
Georgia.
at-large. You're one of the top teams in the SEC. They're putting you in there.
Yeah.
So you essentially get a bye week for a conference championship week.
Right.
And then, like who
You got to go on the road that first week, though.
yeah, but like who are
But
you?
I mean, I'd rather go on the road to like Boise State or Miami.
right, like who are you probably playing
You
like
know.
an SEC team, a Big 12 team. Like you
Yeah.
dominate the Big 12. Like
Right. Right.
there you go. Like
Yeah.
easier first round matchup. And then
Yeah.
Georgia winning the SEC championship, likely 2 seed. You're probably going to be one of the higher ranked lower seeds anyways.
Right.
You'll probably get the dot. You wouldn't like
Yeah, they'll
have
be
to
at
play
they'll be
Georgia
at
the second
between
round.
6 and 10, probably.
You're probably getting like the ACC champion or the
Or
Big 12
or
champion.
or
Maybe
the ACC team that lost the ACC championship.
I'm just
you
saying
know
that
what I
if
mean?
you win your first round game, who
Oh,
are you
yeah,
who are
yeah,
you
yeah.
go playing in the second round?
Yeah.
It's not going to be the Big Ten or SEC champion because you're going to be too. I think you'd be too high of a ranked team
I have a ranked team.
as
yeah.
an SEC 10-2 SEC team. Round 2 you're getting, maybe
Yeah.
Miami. You're getting potentially Arizona State or whoever wins the Big 12. Yeah, I mean that's
I
definitely
think
true.
there's going to be
Oh, they're definitely going to be an upset.
Somebody's getting clipped early in that college football.
I think whoever Boise gets is in the most trouble. Because, I mean,
I kind of agree with you.
I like Gentry's sick, but I like
That's a dangerous team that talk about nothing to lose, and they're going to have a home game.
exactly
I mean,
on that blue field.
it's going to be Notre Dame. I already know it is. I already know it is. They already said they were like, it's like 98% on the college football predictor.
Jeez.
Notre Dame and Boise State. the
Ah,
first
really?
round in
That's
Boise State.
nuts.
Blue on blue crime, man. I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Exactly. So, what do you guys think? Should Texas kind of throw it against A&M?
Yeah, just
Kind of
lay
get.
down.
I feel like it gives you an easier path through the postseason. You get to kind of rest your guys some more. What? So because I mean, you beat Texas A&M, you go to the SEC championship. I mean, Georgia kind of whooped you the last time you played. Now it's on a neutral field. That's going to be a brutal game, and so then you could lose that, and then there's no guarantee. Like there's going to the SEC championship. There's no guarantee you get that first round bye, and then you just
Right.
play 2 extra
You got to
games.
play 2 extra games. Yeah.
Maybe, and then you're going into the playoff with potentially a road game and maybe a tougher opponent. I don't know. You never want to just like say, "Oh, we're going to lose," but Texas might be the better play for them. Let us know what you guys think. We're going to go to a quick break. When we're coming back, we got top plays, and then we'll have a little more breakdown on some more of the NFL playoff picture as that shapes out. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Till the Final Whistle.
Let's go Irish.
That desert sun, it burns my eyes. It burns your picture in my mind. It brings the chaos that I find. Feels like I'm running out of time. Heartbreaker, you ain't gonna break me down. Heartbreaker, you ain't gonna break me down. Heartbreaker, you ain't gonna break me down. It breaks the silence of the night. I've got to ride 100 miles. 100 days on that front line. Feels like I'm running out of time. Heartbreaker, you ain't gonna break me down.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
The boys are back. The boys are
Back.
buzzing. College football, NFL previous week's breakdowns. Got some top plays coming up for you. We definitely have more of these divisional matchups we were looking at. AFC North and the AFC West next.
Those are another two divisions.
those are-
Could be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Kansas City right now is firm control.
Yeah.
But as far as standings in the AFC West, I mean, like right now, like when you look at it within the conference, right now, 3 teams from that conference are in the playoffs.
Yeah. It'd be
Kansas City,
Chargers and Broncos rigging up the
Chargers are-
6 and 7 seeds.
Yes, sir.
Chargers could jump Baltimore if they beat them tonight too. That's happening.
Well, they're
in
already ahead.
SoFi.
They're already ahead of them right now.
Oh,
The
they are?
Chargers are a 5th seed, and the Denver Broncos rounding out the playoff picture at 7-5. They have a 2-game lead on the Miami Dolphins right now for that 7th seed. So looking good there. The Chargers are the 5th seed. Baltimore Ravens are the 6th seed, and the Denver Broncos are the 7th seed.
The Broncos, they have 2 like huge like must-win games coming up where they got the Browns got to beat them, and then you got to take care of business against the Colts. Those are both home games.
Yeah.
Because then you got, we kind of got screwed on this. We got flexed into Thursday night football. So now we have to, we have 2 road Thursday night football games this season.
Oh no!
I mean, are you kidding me? That's kind of stupid.
Oh man!
It flexed that second Chargers Broncos to the
Thursday. There was like
Oh,
a Jet.
no.
I think it was like a Giants somebody else game that was supposed to be that night. So like obviously, yeah, you
Oh no!
get a better matchup in there. But did it have to be us? Are you kidding me?
And when's that game?
It's gonna be December 19th.
So
So
that's like
instead of the whatchamacallit, the 22nd.
man.
Yeah, kind of brutal. I mean, two road Thursday night. That no other team has ever had to go on the road twice on play on Thursday night football, and that's a huge divisional matchup for us.
Dude, if the Broncos lose that Chargers game and they lose the last week of the season to Kansas City, and bro, if the Bengals somehow found a way to like win out,
That's one of the teams. After we go to the Chargers, then we got to go to Cincinnati to play the Bengals before we come back home
dude, that could
to
be
play
a
the
tiebreaker.
Chiefs. Yeah, it's
Oh no!
it's a tough.
Oh no!
Dude, it's a brutal 3-game stretch to end the year. We got to take care of business against the Browns and Colts.
Got
Get us
to.
up to 9 wins, at least keep us in the mix. Because I just can't see us coming out 3-0 in that stretch. We're going to lose at least 1, maybe 2.
Man.
Who knows
And if the
where?
Miami Dolphins, dude, at 5-6.
Yeah. Who knows where Cincinnati's going to be at that point in the year when we play them? Maybe they're resting Burrow. They're on the next season, whatever.
I mean, this Sunday night football game against the Thursday night football
Yeah.
game, Thanksgiving Turkey Day.
I'm a Packers
in
fan.
Lambeau.
I'll be rooting for Green Bay.
You're a Packers fan. They got the Jets,
I'm
Texans,
gonna be
Niners, Browns, Jets to end the year.
Yeah,
The
so
Jets
for the
could play spoiler for the Dolphins.
rest of the season, I'm going to be a Packers fan, a Jets fan, then a Texans fan, then a Niners fan, then a Browns
Because
fan,
they
then the
need
Jets fan.
they
again.
need to get 7 losses for you to
Yeah.
10-7.
Miami, pretty scary.
Oh man, dude, dude.
I think
That's
that
a brutal 3-game stretch, bro, for the Broncos.
yeah, a snow game against the Packers. I think that's a good matchup for Green Bay.
In
Dolphins
Green Bay,
could struggle
too.
there. Yeah.
And the Packers run the ball good, and the Miami Dolphins do not stop the run. So
Texans, like I don't feel confident about Texans being able to stop the Dolphins. Especially, Achane, what a surprise that guy's been. I just thought there is no way like he would be like a good player fantasy football wise. I got him in the league. He's great. He really is taking control of that backfield. I thought it'd be a huge split backfield situation there, but I mean he's RB1.
Oh, yeah.
And for like a guy his size, like doing a good job of like not getting injured either. But yeah, Texans, that could definitely be an easy win for the Dolphins. I mean, the 49ers might be getting to a point where they're trying to protect their players and think about next season. So that could definitely be a win for the Dolphins. And then Browns, Jets, Miami could definitely pick up wins against those teams. So scary. The Bengals, I mean, they're going to have to beat Pittsburgh next week.
Yeah.
Then they got the Cowboys, the Titans. Those are both road games. Home against the Browns, and then the Broncos. And then they got to go on the road to Pittsburgh. With the way Burrow's been playing, though, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to count them out, but that's a pretty tough stretch.
It's looking pretty bleak. They could play spoiler to you guys.
That's what
I'd be
most
worried
concerned about.
Dude. A home game against the Broncos, where like if it's in Mile High, I'm going Broncos all the way.
Yeah, but in Cincinnati,
in Cincy, after you guys get done playing a division game, you got to go on the road to a weird spot. Could be snowing.
At least it's a mini bye.
It is a mini bye.
Yeah. Man, I hope Riley Moss didn't hurt his knee too bad. He had to leave the game on Sunday for that. Still haven't heard what the injury diagnostic is on that, but I would really hope he's healthy. Let's take a look at the Chargers schedule. Kind of end out. Obviously, they got the Ravens tonight. That's a huge game. The Falcons, I think the Chargers could crush them pretty easily. Then they got the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Then they got the Buccaneers, who are not a team to be slept on. The Broncos. Then they have to end the season, it's an easier go of it, the Patriots and the Raiders, but those are both road games, bear in mind. So the Chargers really got their most difficult stretch coming up here.
Guys, it's only week 12.
Yeah, I know.
There's so much football left.
We're going to see
it's
some
a
insane
week-to-week
shakeup.
We're going to see carnage, brother. We are going to see something.
Besides like the
insane.
top like 2 teams of each conference, there aren't like any teams that I feel like confident are and like where they're going to end up. I feel like Detroit and Philly are probably going to be some variation of the 1 and 2 seed. Kansas City, Buffalo, some variation of the 1 and 2 seed. The Steelers could win their division or be a wild card. Same with the Ravens. The Broncos, probably a wild card or not even in the playoffs. The Dolphins looked like they were dead in the water. They could be a wild card. Yeah.
Boys, the Detroit Lions, you said that. Dude. Bears, Packers, Bills, Bears, Niners, Vikings.
Oh my God, that is a brutal
I mean, I know the Niners aren't the old end of the year, though. They're going to be healthy. They're going to be motivated. They're not laying over the train tracks. And you got to go to San Fran. And the Niners are going to be ticked off. And they want, and the Lions are going to be motivated because who did they play, in that championship game to go to the Super Bowl and choked it? So they're not, obviously the Lions are going to be in that game to like dog it out. And then you got to end the year with a divisional matchup the next week. So you can't, you can't empty the gas tank because that last week of the season, you drop a game. Philadelphia, with a relatively easy way to end the season, they play the Giants to end the year. You play a divisional game to end the year. That could affect who's the actual 1-2 seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
And then if you finish with 2, you have, say you lose because Packers are going to win in Detroit, guys. I don't know. I don't know what you need to hear. I don't know what I need to say to convince you. Probably not much, Mercury, because you're not going to buy nothing I sell you. I'm a used car salesman over here. I know. But like at the same time, dude, the Packers are going to win in Detroit. So that's going to be their second loss of the year. Then they got to play the Bills, tough team. Bears, they split with the Bears last year. The Bears beat them in Detroit also.
The Lions have a chance to split every one of their divisional.
That is true.
And if that happens, that's 4 losses, bub.
I like the identity of the Lions. I think that gives them they're going to make them competitive in every game and give them a chance to win. But looking at that schedule, there's no way they don't.
They're going to lose.
They're going to have at least one more loss.
Maybe 2.
Probably looking at a 14-3 finish.
I would say
I think 14-3 is the most likely.
The Philadelphia Eagles were 10-1, blowing teams out the line. You know what I mean? And they've barely made the playoffs last year.
I could also see a 13-4 finish. I mean,
right.
That many.
That's what I mean.
That many good teams back to back weeks.
With no pass rush.
That is just tough.
And now you're not going to
Yeah.
be playing teams that have no passing game. You know, you got to play the AFC South, pretty much in back to back
Yeah.
weeks. Teams laying over.
I
the
was
train
watching
tracks for you.
Max Crosby play on Sunday, and I was like, just so pissed. I'm like, this guy should be wearing blue and silver right now. Like, what are we
No,
doing?
you shouldn't. Don't you ever say
That- You should have sold the farm to get Max Crosby.
You
That-
sell the farm to get Max Crosby.
because that is the biggest, obvious, most
Yeah.
glaring
and they
issue with
can't
the
stop the
Lions.
run.
Yeah, and he's great against the run too. He was flying in off the edge and like
Max
just
Crosby's the
blowing
man.
our running
He's
backs
the
up.
man.
Yeah,
He's the man.
he.
I honestly thought about Granderson from you guys.
I don't. Yeah,
That
I don't know.
wouldn't have
Saints.
that wouldn't have been a bad pickup for him either.
I should have gone and got Max Crosby because like if you're the Lions, screw your
Za'Darius
draft.
Smith played 5 snaps
Screw your
on Sunday.
screw your draft picks, man.
You
The
know what I
team
mean?
you've got here just needs a pass rush, and then that like your Super Bowl window would have been that much more open. And
Wide
now-
open, right?
I mean, who knows like how long you could continue this
Yeah.
success? I think if you were the Lions, a team that's been down in the dumps, you go all in for this a top.
I would
pass rusher.
imagine, yes.
but
Mhm.
who knows?
Yeah, the Detroit
Still-
Lions will always Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
by the end of the
Still a good team offensively. Yeah, they can
Yeah,
run with
they
the
are.
best of them, but
for sure.
the going up against all these teams and they just can't generate a pass rush. Their secondary has improved. It's gotten better, but
It's gotten better.
I mean, if these guys are they're gonna have to play some really good wide receiver cores, and they're
And you're just hoping one team doesn't put something on film
Yeah.
that everybody else can copycat.
if you're not going to be able to get pressure on the quarterbacks without blitzing and leaving these DBs in a lot of one-on-one matchups,
Yeah.
that's a little
And they
concerning.
also
That's where I
lost
get.
Alex Anzalone for the year. So
Oh, that's a huge hit to your
their
linebacking core.
they got that, Bill. He was on that Hard Knocks show. Rojo Rodrigo or whatever his name was. I don't know. He's a pretty small linebacker.
Oh,
Taking their
I
taking
can't.
their
I don't even remember what that dude's name is. Yeah, tough stretch of the Lions coming up there. So
I think the Eagles are going to sneak in that first seed, brother.
they might. They just might. What's Philadelphia's scheduled?
I think I ran it down a little bit, but
It's not. It's really not that bad.
It's
All right, they
really
do have. Okay, they do have some big games. They got the Ravens next week. That's going to be a dogfight. That's probably a loss. I mean, Lamar Jackson just doesn't lose to NFC teams. The only quarterback in the NFC to beat him is off of his team now. They cut him. Do you know who that QB is, Jimmy Caveman? The only NFC quarterback to beat Lamar Jackson in the football game?
well, the Packers beat him.
Not with Lamar Jackson starting. He's 23-1 now as a starter against the NFC. The only quarterback to beat him when he started for the Ravens in a football game against an NFC opponent was Daniel Jones. That's the only NFC quarterback Lamar has lost to in his career.
We might have knocked him out early in that game, but I know we ran roughshod over that guy.
The starts are if you play one snap and get hurt, you're considered the starter of that game. So if he might have come in off of like
he won MVP, we killed him, and Lamar Jackson played.
I'm telling you, Jimmy, he's 23-1 against the NFC. He might have come in. Maybe that was when Flacco was still there or something. And he came in for Flacco after Flacco got hurt. But every sports network always brings up the stat that he's 23-1 against the NFC, and it was not. You might be thinking that it was Tyler. Tyler Huntley does kind of play like a discount Lamar Jackson. Maybe Huntley was in there. Yeah, it looks like he's having a moment of
It was
realization.
Tyler. It was Tyler.
Yeah, I told you.
Same damn player.
Tyler Huntley's like dollar store Lamar Jackson. Let's be honest. All right, back to the Eagles schedule though. Got the Ravens. That could honestly be a loss. But then you got the Panthers. I don't know, man. The Steelers don't really match up well with Philadelphia.
I don't think so. I think that's gonna be a dog fight though. That's gonna
Yeah.
be a rock fight with those offensive and defensive line scrimmage, dude.
That's true.
Because
Dude, that-
Steelers want to run the ball also.
Yeah. That Eagles front has come to life,
and
dude.
the Eagles
Jalen
lost
Carter.
Brandon Graham too, their linebacker, do it all linebacker.
Yeah.
That's a big loss for that defense. Already with a thin, depleted defense as it is. I mean, that's going to be. I mean, there's so many beatable teams in the NFL this year. It's like you
Yeah.
can pick holes on everybody. You know what I mean? It's just like what you do to like cover up those holes and mask it. Brandon Graham, captain on that Philadelphia Eagles defense. Now you're gonna play the Steelers. Then they go Commanders, Cowboys, Giants.
Jalen Carter's going to have like huge games though.
Oh yeah, they're
But
sitting at
you
9-2.
play the Steelers. I like the Commanders. I don't think it should really scare the Eagles though. If you can beat the Steelers, then you got Commanders, Cowboys, Giants
The
to
game
finish out
is
the year.
the game is in Washington.
Yeah.
So
But Washington, you're really starting to see like that O line's kind of shaky. They really struggle against the run. Their special teams is kind of a disaster.
I do gotta say, I'm sorry, Caveman, that your Saints aren't in any of these discussions for.
Oh,
the
they
division,
definitely
dude.
aren't going to be. I
You're
mean,
just like,
honestly
not
though,
in the convo. and I'm
honestly
sorry.
though, I mean, just taking a look at it, we really kind of could.
All right. Let's take a look
We
at it.
really kind of.
We're gonna take a look at it.
We really kind of could.
I like
Alright,
how you
we-
say that, dude.
We have to win every single game. We have to win every single game for the rest of the season and hope that the fucking
Everybody else
Bucks
loses out.
and the Falcons have to lose
You got
one or
that.
two more games.
You do have some real tough games though. You got the Rams next week.
You play us, it's over.
You got the Commanders. You got the Packers, and you got to end the year with the Bucks. You do play the Giants and the Raiders. Those are very winnable games.
Yeah.
But
My
It
prediction
starts this week. You got to beat the Rams.
Remember
Yeah.
I said 6-11 at the beginning of the season?
Yeah,
It is looking like I'm
It's
about to
looking
be
like 6-11,
spot
brother.
on.
Good
Uh,
job,
Spot
dude.
on.
That's
um,
it.
I don't know how your secondary is going to fare against Cooper Cup and Puka Nacua.
Especially after they just got
Yeah.
whooped by the Eagles.
No.
That's gonna be
Yeah, no Marshawn Lattimore back there anymore to cover those guys. He's kind of been a non-factor though on the Commanders.
I
Has
don't
he even
think he's
played yet?
played.
I don't think
I
he's
don't
played
think he's played.
All right, yeah, that might be the case. Yeah, because I don't remember him calling his
Yeah,
name.
no, he's definitely had he was out before this week too.
Okay. Oh, that's right. He got traded. He was dealing with an
And he
injury,
was
wasn't he?
Yeah, he had a hamstring
hamstring.
injury when we traded him, and he was
Well,
kind of like in and out.
NFL playoff picture as well. A lot of carnage and chaos to come.
Yeah,
Stick
the
with
NFC
us until the final whistle. We'll be
NFC
breaking it
is
down and looking at it.
wide open. Wide open.
That's what I'm saying. If we just win out,
Yeah.
we could be the team that goes on a run. Our coaches are playing to keep their jobs. Really, Darren Rizzi's coaching his ass off so he
Yeah,
can get
boys,
hired.
You guys are on a bye week this week.
I'll say the
And
Falcons could
Clint
definitely
Kubiak.
drop a number of games. I think the Bucks have an easier schedule coming
Yeah.
up, but Falcons, you got the Chargers, then you got to play the
Sorry,
Vikings.
caveman.
I mean, their offensive
Crosby's
lines look
right.
pretty bad. Max
Crosby's
Crosby
right.
could cause some havoc against them. That's a trap game in Vegas. You got the Giants again, though, against that front. Like, the Falcons trenches are just god awful. I mean, they can't really protect Kirk Cousins against good pass rush, and he's not mobile enough to really be able to avoid that. And then, yeah, they can't generate pressure to save their lives. So, I mean, I could see them, just because of the playmakers on the Raiders and Giants defensive lines, I could see those games
Broncos beat the
being trap games for the Falcons. They could lose to the Commanders. And then, like we said, the Panthers, anything could happen in that game. Who knows?
Dude,
Carnage and chaos, man.
We're here
Maybe
for it,
we'll
dude.
see a team like
We're here for
the
it.
Saints make a run. Let's go for it.
Yeah. I'm just happy the Packers, once again, in the playoffs, squarely in control of their own destiny.
Yep.
There's an old saying that my dad used to say. He's like, doesn't matter if you're in the first seed, doesn't matter. As long as you're in the bus, you always have a chance to be the driver. And
That's a good saying.
We 2010,
Hey.
six seed,
Guys, and
Super
Good
Bowl
cha-
champion.
probably no 49ers, so you don't have that team to choke against in the playoffs again.
We had an 11-point lead and then an 8-point lead we had an 11-point lead with 1 minute left in the third quarter, an 8-point lead with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter with the football, and
Yep.
we lose it. Brutal, dude.
Yeah, that's hard.
Tough day to be a
Brutal.
Packers fan. Yeah.
It
heartbreaking.
sucks so bad. We lost a home playoff game against Jimmy Garoppolo where we give up 140 yards of total offense with
And
Christian McCaffrey.
the Niners scored 13 points.
And their only touchdown was a punt block for a touchdown, dude. And then they kicked 3 field goals and they win. Aaron Rodgers had 97 yards passing with Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones there.
Holy crap!
and an offensive line that was like ranked like top 5 in the NFL.
Coming off a first round bye too.
Like literally a first round bye.
Crazy time.
Brutal, dude.
Crazy time.
Brutal, dude. Like anybody else, like I knew when we got that matchup with the Niners, I said, "Oh, this is where it ends." You know, this is just where this is. I knew I put literally all my money in my sports book on the Niners money line because I just knew.
Yeah, it's just
I just knew. It's just it is what it is. Anybody else, we probably make that Super Bowl.
yeah.
in the
It's just
NFC.
wild, like how some teams just they always have another team's number in the postseason.
It's
man.
wild, right?
It's
Isn't it?
crazy.
We bro, we had the ball with the lead with an 8-point lead with 5 minutes left.
Wow.
And they did something smart. This goes unheralded and unnoticed. With 5 minutes left, we're driving at like the 50 and we're running the ball. They used their timeouts well before the 2-minute warning to give themselves an extra possession after the 2-minute warning, which is what they used. They kicked a field goal, scored a touchdown, they win by 2. And then we got the ball back with like 50 some odd seconds left, and Jordan Love needs to make a play. Not an ideal situation for your first time quarterback in a monsoon on the road in the playoffs.
No.
It doesn't
No,
help.
it's not.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't help.
Just awful, dude. Awful. Anyway, we're going to be here for it. I'm
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, I wanna
Packers
see this.
cruise control. I think we'd probably get 5-6 seed. Doesn't really
Yeah.
matter, but
There's no way
We're
they're
in
the
there.
7th seed. The two
it would
runner
take
ups.
something insane to happen.
Yeah,
like
the
a
two
couple
runner ups
losses.
of the North, I think, are going to be the 5 and 6,
5
and
and
then it's
6.
like
I'm
whoever
with you.
can escape the chaos of the West and
Yeah.
East can squeeze in there as the 7th.
A lot of football left, boys.
Yeah.
We've talked about a lot of football left. I think we got some top
Never
plays here,
get
though.
too confident. So much can happen, and we're
Oh,
going to be here to cover all of it. And you know what? We're going to get into the madness of this weekend with some of our top plays of the week.
Shot clock winding down, puts up a 3. Bang! He is a one-man wrecking crew. This is caught! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
You're going to get genuine reactions like that watching these top plays. We got some good
Absolutely.
ones.
Yeah. My guy, all right, dude. Jeremiah Love, dude, from Notre Dame in his Notre Dame Army game.
I like this dude.
Dude,
He's sick.
He's gonna be he's an NFL, he's a Sunday football player. I wanted to look up
Rip the dream of a service academy going
Jerem-
undefeated.
Jeremiah Love has 6 touchdowns this year over 45 yards. Wow. Which is insane. He had another 3 touchdown day and 175 yards. Right?
He's so explosive.
It's insane when he gets in the open field. If he's even, he's leaving, boys. Watch this run.
Handoff Love. With the wheels, accelerates. Jeremiah Love to the house. Touchdown. Going to come back. I mean, it doesn't take away from the explosiveness of Jeremiah Love, but it's going to come back for a penalty.
Marcus Freeman already recognizes that. And we'll wait for the official call here.
Personal foul, legal use of hands to the face, defense, number 97. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Dre Miller.
Yeah, those announcers had no idea what they were talking about, and no big deal because like on the next possession too. I thought it was going to be synced when I saw it on Facebook. Another 35-yard touchdown run on the very next possession, and they pulled him out of the game.
Yeah.
That kid is awesome.
That run.
I don't know
crazy.
how we got him from Alabama, but Marcus Freeman gave up the Catholic bag and got Jeremiah Love to decommit from
Traded
Alabama
some of the Pope's crown
at the
jewels or
Iron
something.
Bowl last year and got him to commit the week after and signed with us. And he's dominant. He's going to be, he's a stud.
I mean, dude,
He's
there
a
were
freshman.
there were 2 Army defenders trying to cut the angle off on him, and he just blew right
past him. Yeah, he had
Unreal
a
speed.
play in that Virginia. Dude, this kid can cut on a dime. I think you kind of saw it right there. His first cut into the off tackle, he's in that hole and he's gone. He had a similar play where it was inside tackle, and he started off outside, came in inside off one cut, and he just went right up the middle and just left like 2 safeties.
He
in
caught. He also caught like a screen pass and just like hurdled over a defender
Yeah.
into the end zone.
Yeah, the kid's a freak. He's going to play on Sunday. I wouldn't imagine he's a first rounder just because like first round running backs kind of tough. And I think
Yeah.
Genty is probably going to be the one this year.
I think Genty might be the only one to go in the first
I think
round.
so. I think so. I know Ollie Gordon was looking to be that guy, but I think their team success is more rooted in that. I could see him. I could see Jeremiah Love being a 3rd-round draft pick, sort of like Audric Estime. For the Jeremiah Love, a little bit smaller, can do a little
Could
bit
be
more.
in the top 5 of backs. I think you're gonna probably gonna see Genty. I think that Sampson from Tennessee is gonna go pretty high.
He'll go high too.
He's pretty good.
A pretty good guy.
Obviously you've got Ollie Gordon. He's really good.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on.
Miami has a pretty good running back, but I'm not sure if he's draft eligible. Jeremiah Love is not draft eligible.
Okay.
So
He's
it
got
won't be this year.
You got it's that guy from Oregon. He's solid. Jordan James, I think is his name.
He's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. You could probably see him going.
What about his dude that plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Oh, Trevor Etienne
Yeah.
on Georgia.
Yeah.
Kind of an underwhelming season, I feel like.
I think so, but I think
Is
just
he a
like
junior?
intangibles and size is gonna get him
That's true, yeah.
He
He's
just
got like a
can't
great
he's
well, and
super
obviously your brothers in the
NFL,
yeah.
But
So he's a junior. I don't know. He may come back for another year, I think. We'll see.
I think he does.
crew members can take a shot too.
Oh, this is
What
great.
happened here?
Oh, this is great.
What happened?
Roll the
Crew
clips.
members are getting ran over.
Brown could not hang on. There's a rush of 11 yards. Down hard hit. The audio and camera folks from the sidelines, some of our team.
Such a good guy. I mean, that crew member, boys, you got Jack. Oh, dude.
First the security guard, then the boom guy, and the camera guy both went down.
Taking bodies.
AJ,
Saquon Barkley, dude.
AJ Brown running into you while you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
Oh,
my gosh.
Oh my god. That is a 6.
And we got a
what,
ref
5?
taking a headshot.
This
What
one's
is
hilarious.
happening in top place?
The extra point is good from Schrader. Point is good.
That's a 1 in a million shot.
That grants the extra point for the Panthers, so they
That's an
only,
extra-
They only lose by 2 points.
That's an extra point. If you dude,
Yeah.
that's like at least 10 points.
I think
That's a snipe.
That's a
I mean,
snipe,
come on.
dude. You kick that thing perfect where it comes right down on the net and the dude's giving his signal and it bonks him in the head. Dude, that's awesome, dude. I love our top plays.
So this
He
next
wasn't ready for this one.
one. Oh yeah.
Pretty vague. We will find out. Watch this.
Oh, by the Titans, it'll be recovered by the Texans.
They're not even
You
here
got
anymore.
jacked up.
Yeah.
Keep your head on the swivel.
You gotta keep your head
That
on.
guy said, I didn't hear no whistle. I didn't hear no whistle. You played till the
I
final whistle.
I didn't hear no whistle. Yeah, buddy. Best
Oh,
play
that's a
call of the
hit.
weekend. Is this Kevin Harlan or is this Gus Johnson?
You lose a lot.
Coaching here. This would
Oh,
be
okay.
coaching.
You
play.
lose a lot of leadership on a talented team, and you could see the frustration with Dave Dorn when that happened.
They've lined up every wide offensive lineman as a wide receiver. That'd be fun. Falls on the ground, recovered by Georgia Tech. They're going to score. E.J. Lightsey.
Oh my god.
NC State.
Yeah, I think
Phillip Rivers ain't there no more.
I think I sent that in. I was like, this is not a top play, but it's just funny because like, what are
could
you
go-
doing?
Yeah, what could go wrong? Yeah,
That's up there with like when you
You
the
remember-
Giants 2-point screen or when the Colts
I was
What-
gonna say, you remember when they
Colt-
had like one? They had their
lined up
entire,
one guy under center and like everyone else is split out wide.
but they had 4 down linemen. It was the New England Patriots. Bill
Right.
Belichick wasn't.
Dude, there's
falling
like
for that
there's
crap.
like 3 guys in front of your center.
Yeah.
And then they try to run a sneak.
a sneak.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure Pat
no-
McAfee took the snap on that.
No
one.
kidding, that
was.
didn't work. It was like it was
Yeah.
some like gunner that like took it, like some no name like gunner, and I was like,
I
what?
thought it was McAfee because it was a Colts.
Yeah.
I think they split McAfee out wide or something. Like he was gonna go catch a pass. They had like a gunner line up under center.
I'll look it up. All right.
Dumbest
What an
dumbest play in
insane
NFL history. Although the Giants, they're like whatever screen pass they
I
tried
think
to
that was
run.
when they had that Ben McAdoo dude as their head coach. Remember when they had him?
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it was Chuck Pagano.
It, honestly, I think it
Well,
was.
the
think it was.
Giants won.
Oh,
Remember when
yeah.
the Giants ran that really awful 2-point conversion?
I'm talking about this year against the Steelers on Monday night.
Oh,
You
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that?
Yeah, yeah.
where they had the look like none of the offensive linemen blocked though, where they just let Alex Highsmith.
Oh yeah,
run
that's
through.
right. That's right. Just ran right through.
Yeah.
Yeah. A 54-yard game winner for the upset. Uh-oh.
Well, it's going pretty much going down on the 45. So you can tell me this is 55 on the way. It's good. On the way. It is good. That was a no-doubter.
So that helped Oregon
54
State punch their
yards.
ticket to the Pac-12 championship.
There's still a Pac-12. Shout out Pac-12, man.
Yeah.
You're just hanging on by a
Yeah.
thread, dude.
Honestly, that game
in there.
kind of was the
Hanging on by a
Pac.
thread.
Or I don't know if they're actually having a game, but or if that game was just the Pac-12 championship, essentially winner of it.
Was it?
So if that's the case, Oregon State won the Pac-12 with a losing record.
We mentioned it earlier. Ohio State just ran roughshod over Indiana, just wasn't ready. Part of that, Caleb Downs transferred from Alabama to Ohio State, get more playing time. Well, he's using that playing time to his advantage.
Making the most of it.
He couldn't see the field at Alabama. He's seen the field at Ohio State, and he made the most of it. Watch this.
Downs lets it take a bounce, picks it up at the 21, spins out of traffic, up the sideline with room. Here he gallops, cuts it back. Downs, the Alabama transfer here at Ohio State. Touchdown, world famous.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Shout out Gus Johnson.
What
You
a
know,
call.
and it's like one of those things, man, where like, you know, everybody, you can have the coaching, you can have the X's and O's. Sometimes it's about the Jimmies and Joes, and you don't have Caleb Williams or Caleb Downs, and they do. And that ball game was over early into that first half. It was just
Yeah.
a completely different level on the offensive and defensive line that Indiana just wasn't prepared for.
Ohio State took that game very seriously. They're looking to send a message to the committee.
Oh yeah.
And I think they did, buddy.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
They definitely sent the message.
Blocked field goal return. I love these plays.
Love a good.
Oh, and it's blocked. Second block of the day. Minnesota going the other way with it. This might be a touchdown for Ethan Robinson. Robinson, 2 points the other way. Second block of the day. What a punt.
Of Western Michigan. That's where he got his name
Yeah.
built up. Rode the boat. Rode
Minnesota,
the boat.
man, gave Penn State all they could handle.
All they could handle, man. They really did. James Franklin is not one of these coaches that I think is one of the better coaches in college football.
Out of Penn State.
I've never in my entire life thought Penn State was this team that's on this pedestal that deserves just to be talked about in the highest regard, like every other team in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
They lose every big game they've ever
I
been.
really do. Like, I just can't remember.
I
the
don't
last,
get
like,
it with them.
When's the last time Penn State really went on like a run?
Right.
And when's the last
Saquon Barkley?
Yeah.
And even then, they only won like 7 games.
Yeah.
It's like,
You know what I mean? Like
in
they had
every
Christian Hackenberger, and I think that, you know,
Yeah.
they lost to Iowa in a 6-3 ball game on like one of their Nittany Lions Saturday night games where they do the whiteout and they do the whole thing with the lights and it's all the pomp and circumstance, and they lost a 6-3 game to Iowa with Christian Heck, whatever his name was.
man, I can't even think of the last time like Penn State was like seriously considered like a national championship
Yeah.
contender.
They lost in a Big Ten championship to Illinois when it was like 06-07 when Illinois had he was a running back. He played for the Steelers in the 2010 Super Bowl and fumbled with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he was the running back for the Fighting Illini, and they ran all over Penn State, all over 'em. And it was like, oh, this is the year Penn State, the Rose Bowl thing. They're like, playing in the Rose Bowl in the Big Ten championship for whatever reason. And they were like, all right, we're going to play here. They played there. Don't know what was going on anywhere else, but that's where they played. And they got blown out, dude. Wasn't even close. Rashard Mendenhall is his name. That was all that they had. That was all that they
What a
had. And
throwback.
he got the ball like 38 times for like 250 and 3 touchdowns that game.
Yeah.
And I think that was the last time Penn State has ever been
I think they're
somewhat relevant.
Penn
in the
State's
Big Ten.
another team that's like they're probably going to get upset round 1 if I had to guess.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Like if they, because like there's a good
Miami,
chance.
Penn State. Who would you take?
Miami.
I take Miami.
I think there's a good chance Penn State gets an SEC team round 1. The SEC teams take it.
Penn State is a really slow style of play too.
They do.
Where like
And their defense isn't even all that good to have it at slow style.
exactly
Yeah.
like they could score 24 points in a really long slow drives against Miami and still allow like 40 points.
Nah, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
USF ripping Tulsa's heart out.
Oh, this play's sick.
Thursday, November 28th, going to be a huge game. And now Francis, first shot down the sideline, and it is caught. Hauled in by Joseph Williams. Then he bobbled it. Did he actually give that back somehow to Knox, who was tracking with him all the way? Not quite sure how that happened. What probably should have been a touchdown for Tulsa.
That's why you never give up on the play. That's why your coaches preach hustle, hustle, hustle. Yeah,
That's
9 out of 10 times that guy's probably going to outrun you to the end zone, but that was the 10th time, and you got yourself a takeaway.
You did. Illinois, last second touchdown. This was the play that we mentioned before. I think this might be probably the top play winner, just because this was so chaotic. But yeah, Illinois, definitely for college football. This is definitely the top play of the day for college football.
Double A gap blitz. They bring the house. Here's the throw. Hit as he throws. It's caught by Bryant. First down. 15, 10. House call. Touchdown. Pat Bryant from Luke Altmaier on 4th down.
To preface, we didn't get to see him line up in the field goal formation, but for all the listeners and viewers out there, Illinois lined up for like a 50 some odd yard field goal. They called timeout,
52, I think.
52 yard or whatever it was. They called timeout to ice the kicker. They got like the practice swing in, and the coaches were like,
No.
this ain't gonna happen.
Bold.
We gotta go for it on 4th down. They did, they converted, and they won the game.
I mean, it was like,
How are you not protecting the goal line?
it's like they came out in like a prevent defense, but all the prevent was to like one side of the
field. Like, why are you
'Cause that-
running on the other side of the field?
That guy catches it, and then he just cuts it back up down the right side of the field.
Exactly.
There's nobody
Nobody
there.
there.
Like
He
what?
had more blockers than defenders.
Right.
How did you get your defense that out of the position? I mean, just
right.
if you're gonna let them catch it and then just like rally up, but like you gotta cover all sides of the field. That's why Rutgers is bottom tier team of the Big Ten. With that.
Tackled by his own blocker, huh? That's what we got.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh.
save this chirp and return later.
Can you imagine the Pavia brothers on Bourbon Street? Oh, the 7, what a crack. Josh Williamson, turn your volume up for this one. Oh, man.
Dude, what are those ugly freaking uniforms? They're wearing mustard yellow uniforms
With
at
white
LSU.
helmets and white pants.
LSU,
boys.
what are you doing? You have the market cornered with the purple and yellow, dude.
Right.
That's what.
And like
Stick
it's like a
home uniform.
It's like a golden yellow. Like
Yeah.
what? Like that's literal
mustard.
mustard. Like what are we doing?
I was saying this on Friday. It's like Notre Dame. They have their like iconic brand.
Yeah.
You don't stray away from your iconic brand.
Right.
I've been hearing this the past 2 weeks. The ESPN Baton Rouge guys have been giving LSU just the walkthrough on every other week. It doesn't even matter if they win or lose. They'll just start giving them crap about the uniforms. You don't stray away.
No.
You don't stray away from your
No.
iconic brand like
You
that.
don't see the Raiders going away from the silver and black.
Listen to
You don't.
compare LSU's colors. Lakers got the same colors. They don't deviate from that. I mean, it's always some variation of the purple and gold, like, and it works. And it's iconic, and people always like it. I don't know why we're trying to get too cutesy and creative. Like,
Especially when you already lost 4 games and you're not in it anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
Come on now.
I don't know. Like, if you're gonna change it up, like, why would you change the yellow to mustard? Come on.
Yeah, to mustard.
Hell of a hit though. by
Hell of a hit.
That
Vandy's playing tough.
Yeah.
That's no slap. You're not gonna just we're playing Vanderbilt. We're gonna win by 30. They're gonna punch in.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, the sound of that hit too.
I think LSU won by like
Music.
2 points or something.
It was a close game.
We have a big man pick six. We are pro
Yes,
big men
we
here
do.
until the final whistle.
Please give your big men the ball and
Yeah.
let them run.
We will
Peak
have you.
football.
If you're a fat guy and you score a touchdown, you are going to be on.
You're getting in top lanes.
Out in 13, they need to get to the 25-yard line to convert. And it's intercepted. Look at the big fella. Peyton Page. Look at the big man. He made it. Touchdown. Now that's a way for Peyton Page to celebrate.
Taking that at the 50
Yeah, that's,
and running it.
Coach, I'm only used to running like 10 yards here, buddy. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta run all
Get him on
this,
the
dude. Like,
Oh,
what are
you
talking about?
know, he was huffing and puffing.
Oh,
the
he was on
oxygen.
the oxygen. On the
He
side.
probably had to take the next series off. They're like, all right, get the backup in there. Because, he scores a touchdown, you got to get right back out there for defense. They're like, all right, no, you're.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, he's back.
He's
No,
back.
This is another person named Kobe Bryant.
Oh my god.
Oh, Murray keeps it. Murray being chased by Witherspoon. Floats for Wilson. Off target to Kobe Bryant. And there goes Kobe Bryant. With a house call for Seattle.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah, I
tried
think
to,
he's
and he tried to do the Marshawn Lynch,
Yeah.
Beastquake thing. That was funny. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
an awful pass.
I
too.
have no idea what he was
What are
doing.
you throwing? He's like on the and he just like shot put it like throw it out of bounds, dude. Or like
I
your
think-
guy was wide open there underneath.
Yeah.
Just like stop your momentum from running and plant your feet. You had time on that sideline.
Right. He could have gotten that up.
I think
I know there was a defender closing, but he had space.
You had
Could have
space.
done
to-
something better than give up a pick six.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 4th down in Kyler's defense, but
Was
it's like obviously you got to try to, get that completion, but still just a boneheaded throw there.
Dude,
You can't like
Baker-
with all that traffic there, you can't just lollipop it
Yeah, you can't
in
lollipop.
the middle of that.
We mentioned it earlier with Baker Mayfield being one of the guys that's keeping the fun in the NFL. Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys see his celebration after that
They
touchdown?
did the
Yeah.
Tommy
He gave
DeVito.
him the Tommy D Selly right back into his face. We love it. We're here for it. Baker Mayfield, shout out.
Mayfield steps up. He's going to run it. Mayfield at the 5, trying to get in, and he does! Touchdown! Ball came out after Mayfield crossed the line, and what a run for Baker Mayfield doing the Tommy DeVito.
I love
here for
that.
it. I love that,
Dude, just leaping over a defender, leaving
Putting his
himself
body on
completely open
He's
for
so
a shot.
small out there, dude.
He got
Yeah.
smacked.
He's so small, dude.
He takes
Watching
some
him,
shots.
dude, I love Baker Mayfield, man. Everybody
Heart of a
talks-
lion, that dude.
They talk
Heart of
so
a
much
lion.
crap about him. I wonder what if you could go back and pull all the freaking Cleveland Browns fans. I bet they are kicking themselves for getting rid of that guy.
Yeah. Oh, well, they all thought, he was the problem with the team, and like, get rid of him and bring somebody else in, and this team will be better. And you paid all this money for Deshaun Watson, who came in and played like crap. Jameis he's playing all right.
But I'd rather have Baker. I mean,
Yeah.
he won a playoff game in Pittsburgh. One of the biggest bets I ever won in my life was I had a parlay, the Browns money line in the over.
Dude, he nearly beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Right.
Like,
and I'm
the-
like, dude, you have
The
a
defense
quarterback that
failed
wins
him,
a
letting like
road playoff
Defense
win.
failed him.
who was that? Like Chad Henne that came in when Mahomes got hurt,
Yeah.
and they're letting that
yeah.
guy like run for first downs. Like
Left and right, yeah. They left him
Yeah.
open.
come
yeah,
on.
I don't know, man. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But this next play, I was so mad at the freaking Bears, dude. Like their secondaries played solid, and like I was a Bears fan this last Sunday, even though I hate the freaking Bears. I needed them to like actually win a freaking football game. They did not. Jordan Addison with his insane catch. I don't even know how he caught it. You see the Bears defender at the end of this play, like how did he catch that ball? This is nuts. Jordan Addison makes a great play. Vikings win. Somehow the Vikings win in overtime. Much more coming up from that later. But this is a play that really helped the Minnesota Vikings.
Arnold with time. He wants to go deep for Addison, and it is caught inside the 5 at the 2. Jordan Addison.
And their offense was kind of sputtering up until like leading up in there. They had a few penalties. They were backed up. Like that drive, that was like their like second drive of the game or whatever. Like the Bears like scored first. And like that play kind of like woke up their offense a little bit, where it was like,
gave them life,
gave them a little bit of life there. And I was like,
yeah. Like up until that point too, like Hawkinson had no catches, and then after that, that all of a sudden like that opened him up, and he was just finding soft spots all over the field, and really got them going.
Caleb Williams probably played his best game of his young career.
I kind of feel bad for me. Like he's played like well in a couple of these like past two losses. Like not like against the Commanders, he got them down the field when it mattered to take the lead, and then his defense chokes. And then like against the Packers, again, set them up in the right position, kind of a coaching malpractice there, not trying to like use your timeouts and get closer. And then again, like he like got the game tied up and then in overtime, and then he gets just blasted.
This was his first passing touchdown since Carolina 6 weeks ago, and his first touchdown pass on U.S. soil in 5 weeks.
No. Like he hasn't played great, but I'm saying like when it's mattered, he's played well in some good situations.
He's played okay if your team is awful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At the very
like that's just like the best way.
These past few losses, like there's just a couple losses you can't really put on him. It's like could he have done a little more earlier in the game? Sure, but like when it mattered, he got his team in the right position.
He did, and this was one of the plays that he made that I was like, okay, like
fantasy question coming in.
in.
What defenses would you stream for week 16, 17? I'm looking at Colts and maybe even Jaguars as options. Have the Texans and maybe the Chiefs rest Mahomes week 16. Not sure if I should cut Texans yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Texans defense. So you're thinking 16 and 17?
Yeah.
Let me take a look at those weeks.
I wouldn't even have the Texans on my team, honestly, with you, Z. Honestly, dude, out of your options, call me crazy. I'm probably going Jaguars defense just because, like, I mean, at least they create some turnovers. If those are your only options.
Yeah. Colts aren't bad against the Titans. They're just kind of turnover prone. I do like that for week 16. If that's what your options are. Week 17, Colts, then they have the Giants. So those are two offenses that are pretty turnover prone. I'm leaning more towards the Colts. I just think they've got the bet offenses where they're just gonna have a lot of chances to generate turnovers. I would lean towards the Colts. I think they're just a little bit better defensively than the Jaguars are too. Like the Jaguars definitely have a chance to get gashed. So if you're looking for a team to stream defenses for that week, definitely go with the Colts, in my opinion.
Green Bay is not a bad option week 16. I'm pretty sure that's Monday night against the Saints.
Yeah, so the Packers are available. Try and get them. And then I don't know if this is the case in your league, but the Chargers defense, I know this is usually available in a lot of the leagues I'm in.
Yeah, Green Bay is an option week 16. I'd go Green Bay.
Yeah. If you can get the Chargers for week 17, they got the Pats. That's a good favorable matchup for them. Again, I'm not sure how it goes in your league. I've just been noticing in a number of mine that people don't seem to have the Chargers. They've kind of let them go. All right, we're gonna get back to our last.
This was the play that Caleb Williams kind of gave signs of life for the Chicago Bears. I think this is like probably like his best pass so far of his young career.
Pressure comes, gets away from Van Ginkel, still under pressure, floats it down the sideline, and somehow Swift finds it. DeAndre Swift didn't locate.
Yeah, that was a great pass. That was a great play.
Another situation where you got like a quarterback that's got a lot of like great like physical abilities and a special skill set that's just gonna go to waste here on the Chicago Bears offense because they can't develop them the right way.
My guy Tucker Kraft staying in division, dude. This guy would just figure out a way to get him a freaking football, dude. Because he gets a tight end screen here. Watch this play. He absolutely
2 catches. Threw
like
the ball twice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when Josh Jacobs is just running all over, it's like whatever. But I mean, he watch him truck his own center in this game. Right at the end of this.
Looking for Jaden Reed, not there, goes back the other way, sets up a screen, bouncing off of people and into the end zone. It's Tucker Kraft for the touchdown.
that
even
move,
showed
bro.
him. They were like,
The
bro,
replay didn't even
he,
show him score.
he just gave him like a little forearm shiver too and launched him 5 yards in the end zone. That was funny.
Oh, that guy's yeah, he's special.
He's
Love
scratching the
athleticism.
surface. Shout out South
Athleticism.
Dakota State Jackrabbits, dude. 5th round draft pick.
You
No big deal.
You give it a year or two, he's a top
Dude.
3
he
tight end in the league. I
And
think
he's versatile. Like he's a stud blocking too.
I know, like
he's scratching the surface.
the era of like Kittle, like Kelsey and Mark Andrews is kind of coming to an end.
Yeah, Tucker
Soon we're
Kraft
seeing
could be
Tucker
good.
Kraft, Trey McBride,
Trey McBride.
maybe Laporta. We'll see.
They're all so much faster. than
Your
they
boy
used to
Cortland Sutton had a great catch.
Oh yeah,
in this game. Let's watch this.
he looked.
Okay, I understand.
And that pretty much, sealed the victory.
Yeah.
As soon as he got that touchdown. game
After
was
that
over.
interception and that touchdown, I was like, yeah, Broncos won.
Guys, we got to get to it. I think this might be the top play. Cavante Turpin, this return.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I think this is probably like the play of the week. This is the top play of the week here.
This is for our number one fan, Sabrina.
Yeah, shout out Sabrina.
Yeah.
This was absolutely awesome.
Getting your-
drive to Turpin.
Yeah. Oh, what did happen?
Line drive to Turpin, and it bounces through his legs. Here he comes. Cavante Turpin spinning three. Here he goes. Fastest man in the NFL. Cavante Turpin takes it all the way. Touchdown, Dallas.
Video game move right
Video
there.
game move. And then,
That
like,
was
not to be outdone, like,
disgusting.
the Washington Commanders, like, how did that even, like, turn into a competitive football game after that?
They couldn't score early. That,
Yeah.
like, the first half of that game
Dude,
was so boring.
It was like
There
6-3
nothing.
at halftime.
Yeah,
Right.
There was
It
nothing
was like
going on.
13-9 going into the fourth quarter, and the
And then
final
40
score was 34-26.
There was 40 points in the fourth quarter, dude.
If they scored just two
The
touchdowns
fourth-
in the
Right.
first half,
It was like
game's
its
over.
own.
It's a
It was like
completely
its
different
own game in the fourth quarter because like
Totally.
the Cowboys scored 24 in the fourth, or they scored 17, I believe, and then the Commanders scored 24. It just wasn't enough. But
Jaden Smith had a tiptoe touchdown. I like when like all these touchdowns like go down the sideline. You get to see some athleticism. This is a good play.
Ninth play of the drive. Lewis has single coverage, was end zone, got it. Touchdown, Jaden Smith tiptoes his way, a 23-yard.
Yeah, that's always
Well,
tough.
college
He's
action.
lucky. Yeah, he's lucky that he was
Only
playing
1
college
foot.
college football rules there. But I just want to get into that one.
No.
June Thomas onside. Oh, this was the onside kick return.
Yeah.
This was absolutely insane. We got to watch this.
Last time he went to the left.
Goes straight ahead this time, and it's picked up, and that'll put the nail in the coffin. End-to-end Wanye Thomas. Although you can make a pretty good argument here.
And that happened because Washington scored on a long, like 80-yard one pass, 80 yards.
right,
Terry McLaurin, the Cowboys defense, what are
should
you
have been a
doing?
tie game. too.
Should have been a tie game. You smoked the extra point.
Absolutely disgusting work to score an 80-yard touchdown like that and then get sold
smoke
by
an
a
extra-
kicker.
Yeah, that's absolutely horrendous.
was a low
I would have
snap.
been sick to my stomach.
It was a low snap.
But
That-
it was
they
a good
still got
hold.
the
That
ball up.
like
He
like
still got the ball.
if you watch is like the kicker, the holder, like he recovered the low snap and gave him a good hold. That was a good,
Yeah,
like he
still got the
recovered it
ball.
well. Like Cyber
Yeah.
he just chucked it.
Smoked it. Who can stop Saquon Barkley?
Nobody.
Nobody.
He's 6 yards shy of a career high for rushing yards, and he's got it, and he's got more, and he's gonna go all the way. What a night! What a season! What a player!
The C team.
Single-handedly.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of Madden
Dude.
moves, they added that 360.
I saw that they did
spin
that. man.
hurdle to
I saw
Madden.
that they did that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But
Yeah.
I don't like that everybody can do it.
Yeah, no.
That should be
It should be
specifically Saquon.
specifically Saquon,
Exactly.
brother.
Exactly.
Maybe
that-
it is just for him. Or can
Like the
anybody
old
do it?
games were
Everybody
like
can
that.
do it.
Oh, that's stupid.
The old games were like that.
Right.
It'd be like specific guys got their specific animations.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
the year you see a yearly
Yep.
game decline. Back to
Yep.
top plays. I could talk about that for 7 hours.
I know,
straight
right?
about
We got
big-
one more play before we have our show closed. Jared Verse probably, man, dude. One of the best young rookie.
Rookie of the year?
Him and Quinyon.
Defensive rookie of the year?
Him and Quinyon Mitchell are battling for that at the
Yeah.
end of the year, dude. Because, I mean, he's awesome too. But we'll see. Jared Verse, dog.
16, pressure coming, flag.
Pretty play. Hurts scrambles early, and then watch Jared Verse, the rookie who'd been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's an all-pro tackle in Jordan Mailata too, and he just mowed him down.
That was a great battle last night too. Because like 2 plays before that, Jared Verse got pancaked by Jordan Mailata. They were going back and forth.
I mean, hey,
Final thoughts, boys. What do we think for coming up? Carnage and Chaos, or more of the same? You're all these top teams just.
Oh yeah, Carnage and Chaos. I think you're seeing at least one team that's in the playoffs from each conference. They're going to be out, and
I like it.
Yeah, I think we're seeing 2 like 10-win teams go down in the round 1 of the college football playoff. Book it right here.
I like it. All that, much more. Boys, great show. We will see you Wednesday. We'll be 8 to 10 on Wednesday. We will preview the Monday Night Football game. Get into our pickup, much more. Stay tuned with us. Love you. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us, giving our veterans a voice. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us, giving our veterans a voice.